Yuxuan rubbed his temples and stared at the login interface on the computer screen. In the real world, he is just an ordinary college student in his early 20s, with so much academic pressure that he can't breathe. But once he enters Era of Fantasy, everything changes. This game is not a simple virtual reality, but an ultimate immersive experience that reaches directly to the brain through neural connections. The moment you put on the helmet, the world transforms from a gray dormitory into a boundless fantasy continent. Logging in. Welcome back, player Shadowblade. The sound of the system slipped into his ears like silk, and Yuxuan felt a warmth spread from the top of his head to his whole body. In the blink of an eye, he was standing in a quaint town square, surrounded by bustling players and NPCs. The air was filled with the mixed aroma of earth and flowers, and on the distant city wall, the guard's armor flashed in the sun. Yuxuan took a deep breath. This feeling was too real, even his heartbeat accelerated. He habitually opens the system panel, and the first thing he does is check for update announcements. Game companies push new content every week, and this time is no exception. The announcement pop-up window flashed with golden edges, and the title was Era of Fantasy version 3.7 update, cross-server hero showdown is about to begin, new areas are unlocked. Yuxuan clicked on it and quickly scanned the fancy slogans, strengthening the PvP system, adding hidden copies, optimizing the boss mechanism, standard marketing routines. But when he slid to the last page of server maintenance records, his brows furrowed slightly. The announcement mentioned that abnormal fluctuations in some servers have been detected, and the accuracy of cross-server battle predictions has temporarily dropped by 5%. This sounds harmless, but Yuxuan doesn't think so. He is a guy who loves to dig into the details and can always dig out something in these details. Click Detailed Report, and a string of data pops up. The data transmission delay between servers A and B is abnormal, and the time point coincides with last week's cross-server test match. Delay? In a high-precision game like Era of Fantasy, this is no small matter. If the synchronization of the battle is affected, wouldn't the players lose their lives in vain? There is a ghost. Yuxuan muttered to himself, and a thought flashed through his mind. Cross-server hero showdowns are the focus of the game. Confrontations between top players can determine server rankings and are even rumored to affect the selection of real-world esports champions. What if this anomaly is man-made, a conspiracy? Yuxuan shook his head, feeling that he was thinking too much, but curiosity was scratching his heart like a cat's claws. He decided to check it out. After all, the secrets in games are often hidden in the most inconspicuous announcements. With his fingers flying on the virtual keyboard, he initiated a voice call. Zhiming, are you online? Come on, I've made a big discovery. There was a rustling sound on the other end of the call, as if Zhiming was getting out of bed. Yuxuan? What's wrong with you in the middle of the night? I'm completing missions in a tavern in the main city. Wait for me to teleport over. Within 2 seconds, a white light flashed and Zhiming appeared in the square. He is a sturdy warrior player, wearing heavy armor and with a few boar bristles hanging on his helmet. He looks like a hunter who has just returned from the wild. Tell me, what's the matter? Don't tell me that you are studying those announcements again. The result of the hidden treasure chest algorithm you mentioned last time was false. I wasted a whole night. Yuxuan smiled and took Zhiming to sit on a bench by the square. The interactions in the game are so realistic that even the rough touch of the wooden chair is clearly visible. This time is different. Looking at the update announcement, the last part of the server is abnormal. Do you think it is normal? The cross-server battle will start immediately, and the delay will fluctuate. I suspect someone is doing something wrong. Maybe the opponent's server is brushing data, which affects the fairness of the game. Zhiming's eyes widened and he scratched the back of his head. Aren't you too imaginative? But, it sounds quite exciting. If it's really a conspiracy, wouldn't we be detectives? I support it. How to find out? Let's start with the newly opened area. Yuxuan opened the map and pointed to the Shadow Forest to the east. The announcement says that there is a new quest line there. Collecting some props will trigger hidden events. Maybe we can find clues. let's go as a team and practice leveling by the way. Zhiming slapped his thigh and stood up excitedly. Let's go. I have itchy hands. The boss tortured me terribly last time. This time you will be the brains and I will be responsible for the charge. The two quickly formed a team, and the system prompt sounded, the team is formed, Shadow Blade and Iron Arm, I wish you a happy hunting. Teleporting to the edge of the forest, the scene suddenly changed. Towering old trees block out the sky and the sun, the ground is covered with thick fallen leaves, and the air is filled with the smell of moist moss. The roar of wild beasts could be heard in the distance, sending chills down one's spine. The new area has just been opened, there are not many players, and occasionally a few explorers rush by. Yuxuan took the lead and explained as he walked, the mission prop is the shadow crystal, which is scattered deep in the forest. The announcement didn't say it clearly, but judging from the data, the location of the spar coincides with the server fluctuation point. Zhiming swung his battle axe and chopped open a clump of thorns. Isn't your reasoning too mysterious? But I like it. Look, there are spots of light over there. They followed the system marks and picked up the first crystal, a fist-sized blue gem with cold tentacles. Then the second, then the third, the process went as smoothly as a walk. Zhiming boasted while picking it up, dude, last time I soloed an elite monster, it killed me with an axe. Do you think I'm unlucky? Yuxuan smiled and replied, luck? That's a matter of skill. Remember to look at the boss's attack mode next time. The AI in this game is really smart. They went deep into the forest and found the fourth crystal hidden in a small cave. Just as Yuxuan reached out to get it, the ground suddenly shook. Be careful! Zhiming shouted, and a black shadow jumped out from the trees. It was a small boss shadow wolf guardian, a giant wolf as big as an ox, with ink-like hair and glowing red eyes. System prompt, encounter boss, the battle begins. The Wolf King roared and pounced on Zhiming, tearing the air with his claws and bringing up a wind blade. Zhiming raised his axe to block, but was knocked back a few steps. The heavy armor made a dull sound of metal collision. Damn, this guy is so fierce. Yuxuan, support. He counterattacked with an axe, hitting the Wolf King's flank, but leaving only a shallow wound. The Wolf King turned around, opened his mouth and spat out a cloud of shadow mist, heading towards Zhiming. Yuxuan's mind was spinning rapidly. He remembered the boss optimization in the announcement. Shadow Wolf's mist attack has a fixed trajectory and triggers area damage with a delay of 0.5 seconds. Zhiming, duck left. The fog spreads in a straight line and rises from the ground. Zhiming obediently rolled sideways, and the fog passed by him, exploding the ground and corroding it into a scorched black mess. Fuck, how do you know? Zhiming gasped and asked, taking the opportunity to rush forward and slash the Wolf King's hind legs. Announcement of details. It says that the boss skill prediction accuracy has dropped, but the mode of this move has not changed. First charge up, then explode. Yuxuan pulled out his double daggers and walked around to the flank. His role is that of an agile assassin, specializing in evasion and burst output. The Wolf King turned to stare at him and swept his tail, creating a hurricane-like vortex. Yuxuan lowered his body and slid forward, feeling the pressure of wind hitting his face, but he avoided it accurately. Look at its eyes. If the red light flashes 3 times, it's about to make a big move. The Wolf King growled, red light flashing in his eyes. Zhiming shouted, 3 times. Hide. Sure enough, the Wolf King jumped up and black light erupted from his body, forming an expanding dark sphere that radiated around. Yuxuan pulled Zhiming back and calculated the expansion speed of the sphere based on game physics. This thing is like ripples, going from the center outward, and the edge speed is 0.2 seconds slower. Jump! Now! The two jumped up at the same time, and the dark sphere grazed the soles of their feet, exploding trees and sending debris flying. The moment he landed, Yuxuan seized the opportunity and pierced the Wolf King's weak point, the gap in the scales under his neck like lightning. Weak point attack, critical hit. The system prompt sounded, the Wolf King howled, and his health bar dropped wildly. Zhiming added a heavy blow, and the axe blade embedded in the wolf's head. End it. The boss fell to the ground and exploded with golden props, including the last shadow crystal. Yuxuan picked it up, and the system popped up the task progress, hidden event triggered, server abnormality clues unlocked. He looked at Zhiming, and the two looked at each other and smiled. There are data fragments in this crystal, showing that the transmission path for cross-server battles has been interfered with. Sure enough, there is a problem. Zhiming wiped his sweat and patted Yuxuan's shoulder. Brother, your brain is just a cheating device. What's the next step? Go deep and explore? I heard there's a bigger boss there. Yuxuan nodded and looked towards the faint mist deep in the forest. A greater adventure is waiting for them to unfold. Yuxuan clenched the shadow crystal in his hand, and the blue light pulsed slightly in his palm, beating like a heart. The fog deep in the forest was getting thicker and thicker, and there was a faint metallic smell that made him alert. Zhiming was still breathing, with his tomahawk on his shoulder, his face as excited as if he had won the lottery. Hey, buddy, this crystal is not only bright, but also warm. Have you seen the data fragments inside? It says that the transmission path is interfered with. It sounds like something from a hacker movie. It's not just that simple. Yuxuan stuffed the crystal into his backpack, and the system automatically scanned the attributes. Shadow crystal, rare, contains server synchronization fragments, which can be used to unlock hidden maps. Additional effect, temporarily improves detection of abnormal fluctuations. He frowned and stared at the panel. The delay fluctuation in the announcement coincides with the server merger test. Before the last cross-server war, they tried to merge servers A and B, but the data flow was messed up. The fragments of this crystal show that the source of the interference is in the dungeon area on the edge of the forest, a place called the Gate of Rifts. Go there, maybe you can dig out more. Zhiming chuckled and patted the armor on his chest. Okay, you go east and I'll go east. Leave the reconnaissance to me. My heavy armor has a wide field of vision, and I specialize in exploring roads. He led the way forward, his footsteps making the fallen leaves rustle. Yuxuan followed behind, his mind racing. The server merging in the game is supposed to optimize the experience, but it hides such tricks. If someone deliberately messes up and affects the cross-server hero duel, it will be no small matter. The ranking of top players is directly related to the tickets for real-life esports, and losing means losing your job. They passed through a thorn bush, Zhiming leading the way, swinging his axe vigorously. Look, the system mark. The second rare item, the crack shard, is hidden in this tree hole. He put his head in, groped for a long time, and pulled out a flashing purple chip. Take it and analyze it. Yuxuan took it and activated his analysis skills. The panel pops up with detailed attributes, fragments of rifts, rare, derived from server boundary energy. Collecting 5 pieces can repair abnormal paths. Hidden tip, during the merger incident, data leakage led to the strengthening of the boss. Sure enough. He whispered, the energy waveform of this fragment is consistent with the announced delay curve. When the servers were merged, someone planted a virus, which delayed the synchronization of cross-server battles, and the strong server could cheat by brushing data. Zhiming, do you remember the delay in the last cross-server battle you lost? Zhiming stopped and narrowed his eyes. Damn, I remembered it when you told me. At that time, I clearly dodged Bohan's combo, but the system judged that I was hit, and my health bar was completely empty. It turned out to be this damn thing. We have to quickly collect the rest and repair the path to make those bastards look good. He quickened his pace and was responsible for reconnaissance of the surroundings. From time to time, he issued an alarm. There is a team of players on the left, avoid it. There are traps in the trees on the right, jump. The third fragment was hidden under a shallow shoal. Zhiming waded over and splashed in the water. It's so cold. The water is like an ice cave. He picked up the pieces and threw them to Yuxuan, who analyzed them as he walked. The energy value is higher than the previous 2 pieces, which shows that the source of interference is at the entrance to the instance. The merger conspiracy is not small and involves the inside of the game company. Maybe the competitor server is doing something wrong and wants to monopolize the Hero Showdown Championship. Yuxuan felt that his reasoning was getting smoother and smoother, and the game mechanics were pieced together in his mind like a puzzle. This sense of control made him addicted. In the past, he was just a player who liked to read announcements, but now he takes the initiative like a detective. The fourth fragment is the most troublesome, located in a bird's nest on the edge of a cliff. Zhiming climbed up and cursed as he climbed. This game is so darkly designed, the bird's nest can still move. He finally touched it, but it attracted a nest of ferocious shadow eagles. The birds flapped their wings and shot their sharp beaks like arrows. Zhiming yelled, "Yuxuan, support! These guys are fast, I can't stop them." Yuxuan drew out his dagger and quickly stepped into the battle circle. His assassin skill was activated, and Shadow Step allowed him to shuttle through the flock of birds like a ghost, slicing the wing of the leading shadow eagle with a knife. Aim for the weak point of the wings, their dives can be predicted with 0.3 seconds. Zhiming obeyed and turned around, sweeping across with his heavy axe, knocking down 2 of them. "Fuck! Your analysis is awesome." The 2 of them cooperated tacitly, and the birds quickly dispersed. Zhiming took out the fragments from the nest and handed them over breathlessly. "It's the last piece, the copy is in front." Yuxuan nodded and analyzed the last fragment. Full path repair tip. The server merger virus originated from the Bohan Guild, with the intention of manipulating the outcome of the duel. Bohan? That ambitious player in cross-server battles? His heart tightened. Bohan was a legendary player on Server B and always loved to play dirty tricks in the competition. This clue goes straight to the core, and the scale of the conspiracy is beyond imagination. Just as they were approaching the rift gate, a twisted space rift with the surrounding air buzzing, the ground suddenly shook violently. A giant boss emerged from the crack, Edge Guardian Beast, with a body like a hill, scales flashing with electricity, and a roar that shook the leaves. System prompt: Encounter Elite Boss, Battle Mode activated. The Guardian Beast flicked its tail, and the tail whipped out like a whip, causing an electric arc. Zhiming raised his axe to block it, but was repelled by the electric current, and the armor smoked. "Damn, this electric shock is paralyzing me." "Yuxuan, duck!" Yuxuan tried to dodge sideways, but the boss's attack range was too large, and the arc spread into a network, blocking his retreat. He recalled the announced boss optimization in his mind, but got stuck. This was a new area and the skill mode was unknown. "Zhiming, hold it back, I'll find its weak point." As soon as he finished speaking, the Guardian Beast charged up its power, condensed a blue ball of light in its mouth, and prepared for its ultimate move, Thundernet Explosion. Just when the power grid was about to explode, a clear female voice came from the flank: "Move 3 steps to the left, lower your head and roll." The trajectory of the light ball expands in a spiral, hitting the ground first and then bouncing up. Yuxuan obeyed instinctively and rolled away, and Zhiming followed suit. Sure enough, the ball of light hit the ground, and the electric arc bounced off, grazing their position and exploding into scorched earth. A figure jumped out from behind the tree, a female player, with long hair tied into a ponytail, wearing light armor and archer equipment, holding a curved bow, and her eyes were as sharp as an eagle. "You two are lucky. The boss's Thundernet has a fixed rotation pattern. It was not mentioned in the announcement, but it can be pushed from last week's test." She pulled the bow and shot an arrow. The arrow hit the Guardian Beast's eye, and the boss roared in pain and retreated. Zhiming got up and rubbed his arms. "Sister, who are you?" "A life-saving grace. I am Iron Arm and he is Shadow Blade." The girl smiled and put away her bow. "Cinny, a lone player. I just happened to pass by and saw you being tricked. I specialize in boss skills, and the evasion rate is 99%. This Guardian Beast is the product of a merger anomaly, and the arc delay is synchronized with the server fluctuation." She glanced at Yuxuan's panel. "Your reasoning just now is good, and the crystal clues are accurate." Yuxuan stood firm and wiped the sweat from his forehead. Her judgment was as accurate as a textbook, which impressed him. "Thanks, Cinny. If it weren't for you, both of us would be lying dead." The fluctuations in the announcement are indeed a mystery. We are chasing the server merger virus. Do you know the boss and are you willing to form a team? 3 of us are very efficient. Cindy thought for a while and nodded. Okay, I'm tired of exploring the dungeon alone. I heard that there are small-scale conspiracy clues in the Rift Gate, traces of the Bohan Guild. Let's go in together. The 3 quickly formed a team, and the system sounded. The team has been expanded: Shadow Blade, Iron Arm, Wind Arrow, Happy Adventure. They stepped into the Rift Gate, and the world twisted, entering the Edge Copy, a group of floating islands, with broken bridges and howling winds. Zhiming scouted ahead, Cindy analyzed the environment, and Yuxuan was responsible for integrating props. Look, there are residual data crystals on this island. Cindy pointed to a broken wall and shot an arrow to shoot down a floating light ball. Yuxuan picked it up and analyzed. Virus code. It shows that Bohan Guild injected Trojans during the merger to control the boss refresh rate and snowball their server advantage. This little conspiracy is to test the waters, and the target is directly aimed at the hero showdown. His voice became firm. In the past, he could only guess, but now reasoning has become a function, and the confidence of growth came to his heart. Zhiming smashes open an illusory door, revealing a hidden room. There is a guard NPC inside. Interrogate it. 3 people surrounded it. Cindy's arrow blocked the road. Zhiming's axe threatened. Yuxuan asked, "Tell me, who dropped the virus?" The NPC collapsed and revealed the clue: Bohan. He bribed the system engineer, and the merger is a cover, with the purpose of monopolizing the cross-server championship and affecting real-life events. The core server is on the central island, and the database contains the entire map. Cindy's eyes lit up. Central Island? You have to go through the thunderstorm area, where the boss is dense. Yuxuan nodded and looked into the floating abyss. Go ahead, I won't be able to swallow this breath unless this conspiracy is dug out to the end. The 3 of them jumped onto the bridge. The storm was about to come, and the flame of investigation was burning in their chests. The bridge swayed in the strong wind, like a thin line suspended over a floating abyss. Thunder rolled and purple lightning pierced the sky, illuminating the cliffs between the islands. Yuxuan grasped the rope tightly and stepped firmly on the slippery wooden board, still recalling the NPC's confession just now in his mind. Bohan bribed the engineer. This is not just a trick between players, there must be someone inside the company. He whispered to his teammates, and the wind swallowed up half of his words. Zhiming was leading the way, his heavy boots making the bridge creak, and his axe used as a crutch. Damn, the wind is as strong as a typhoon. Yuxuan, your head is still spinning. Don't think too deeply, cross this broken bridge first, or you will die if you fall. He turned around and grinned, his eyes shining with determination not to admit defeat. Cindy followed Yuxuan, carrying her bow and arrow behind her back, her light armor making a hunting sound in the wind. He is right. The electromagnetic interference in thunderstorm areas will amplify server fluctuations. It was mentioned in the announcement that during the merge test of the old version, the boss here will be strengthened by the virus and become an intermediate nightmare. Yuxuan, where are your clues? Share them and I will verify them. Her voice was clear, with a bit of curious teasing, as if she was chatting about gossip at a street food stall. The 3 finally crossed the bridge, and as soon as their feet landed, they stepped into the core of the thunderstorm area, a circular canyon surrounded by stone pillars, and the smell of ozone filled the air. The system prompt pops up, enter the thunderstorm trial area, abnormal energy increases, boss refresh rate plus 50%. Yuxuan stopped, called up the game interface from his backpack, and quickly browsed through old announcement files. Those yellowed words are like old newspapers, recording the early server optimization records of Era of Fantasy. Look here, he pointed at the screen and said to the 2 of them, the announcement 3 months ago said that the company was reorganized and that 2 development teams were competing for resources. Server A was an established team, and Server B was a new faction. The merger should have been fair, but there was a record of delays, consistent with the viruses we encountered. Zhiming squatted down to check the cracks in the ground, and poked the axe into the soil to pry open a stone. Wow, you are such a cross-validation bastard. Just like Sherlock Holmes in the detective drama. I used to just hack and slash, but now I listen to your analysis and feel that this game is bottomless. Boy Bohan, he tricked me with delay in the last competition. I thought I was a loser. I was so angry that I smashed the keyboard. He dug out a flashing, thunder crystal fragment from the crack, and the system automatically strengthened his armor, and the electric light wrapped around the axe blade. This thing has added resistance to electricity, perfect. Boss, you lead the team, let's go straight to the central island. Cindy nodded and stared into the depths of the canyon with narrowed eyes. Infighting within the company? That makes sense. The hidden code in the announcement shows that the PvP optimization promoted by the new faction is actually a backdoor. The hero duel is a key event, and the winner can affect the investment of the real esports league. If Bohan succeeds, all players on server A will be doomed. She patted Yuxuan on the shoulder, with a hint of recognition in her tone. You are not only good at guessing riddles, but you can also connect the overall situation. After forming a team, I feel that I am on the right track. Yuxuan felt warm in his heart. He used to work alone in the past, but now with his teammates, his sense of responsibility is like equipment, making his spine straight. Thanks, Cindy. Zhiming, you scout the left wing. Cindy, monitor the lightning strikes in the air. I analyze the path. We are not in a hurry, we work steadily and dig out the traces of Bohan. His voice was calm, like a squad leader, and the confidence of growth shone in his eyes. In the past, he would only hide behind announcements and watch, but now he takes the initiative to lead the direction. This change surprised him. Deep in the canyon, thunder roared, and a mid-level boss appeared from the mist, Thunder Tyrant, with a body like a giant ape, hair standing on end like electric thorns, and sparks flying when his limbs hit the ground. The system roared, battle starts. Boss skill combination, electric whip combo plus thunderball tracking. The tyrant roared, and his tail whipped like a whip, bringing up blue arcs and heading towards the three of them. Spread out. Yuxuan shouted, activated shadow step, and dodged to avoid the first whip. Zhiming raised his axe to shoulder the second blow. His armor clanged and electric current shot up his arm, but he gritted his teeth and resisted. I'll bring hatred. You deal the damage. Cindy drew her bow, and arrows shot into the tyrant's eyes like meteors. Pay attention, its next combination is triple whip plus ground mine net. Predict for 0.5 seconds, dodge left and then roll right. Yuxuan followed the guidance, and the old data from the announcement flew through his mind. The old announcement said that this boss's electric whip has a weak point at the base of the tail. Hitting it can interrupt the combo. He swung his dagger, quickly pierced the tyrant's flank, and aimed at the base of the tail with a slash. The tyrant roared in pain, the whipping disrupted the rhythm, and the thunder net was not deployed in time. Zhiming took the opportunity to charge and hit his leg with a heavy axe. Fuck. This thunder crystal doubles my resistance. I feel like Superman. He scanned the surroundings while fighting, his eyes lit up. Look, there is a tyrant core, dropped over there, used to strengthen the dagger. Yuxuan, pick it up. The battle was stalemate. The tyrant charged up his ultimate move, condensed purple thunderballs in his mouth, and began to track the three of them. Cindy shouted, the sphere will split into three and lock on the nearest target. Zhiming, you guide in the middle. Yuxuan, go around behind. I will shoot to break the trajectory. Her arrows rained down, hitting an arc, and the sphere deflected. Zhiming laughed, girl, you are so analytical. It's like a game guidebook coming to life. He deliberately used a flaw to attract the thunderball to hit himself, and the armor exploded with sparks, but the enhanced resistance allowed him to only lose a small amount of blood. Yuxuan seized the opportunity and used his strategy to activate Shadow Explosion. His body turned into a black shadow and rushed up the tyrant's back, piercing the weak spot in the neck with an explosion. Announcement cross-verification, the energy flow here is synchronized with the virus, cut it off. The dagger was embedded, lightning flashed, the tyrant struggled to get away, but Yuxuan held on tightly, and his inner monologue flashed, this is not just about killing monsters, but also proving my leadership. The tyrant fell to the ground, and the system sounded, defeat the intermediate boss, experience plus 5000, drop, intelligence fragment X1, power-up item X2. The three gasped and gathered around the body. Zhiming picked up the Thunder Talisman and directly strengthened his axe, and the blade was wrapped with lightning. This thing adds group damage, which is useful in cross-server battles. Yuxuan, you are awesome, the reversal of the move just now was so cool. He patted his buddy on the back, and there was an extra layer of brotherly love in his eyes. Cindy bent down to pick up the pieces of information and handed them to Yuxuan. Look at this fragment. The data shows that Bohan was active in this area last night and left a guild mark. He is testing the spread of the virus, and his target is the final map of the hero showdown. The internal fighting has deepened, and the new faction in the company wants to use this to control the ranking of the whole server and monopolize real-life sponsorship. She smiled, her tone was relaxed but serious. Teaming with you feels like solving a big case. I used to just dodge, but now I have learned more reasoning. Yuxuan analyzed the fragments, and the panel unfolded a fuzzy map, marking Bohan's movement trajectory. He went to the central island, which is the core of the database. We have to catch up and cross old announcements. There are hidden passages on this island that can bypass thunderstorms. He put away the panel and looked at his teammates. Zhiming, you are responsible for allocating props. The thunderstorm is fading, but the tension in the air is getting thicker, and the web of conspiracy is tightening little by little. They passed through the end of the canyon, and a hidden door appeared under Yuxuan's detection. Opening the door, there is a dark passage inside, with ancient runes carved on the walls, like the internal password of a game company. Zhiming touched the wall. This place is eerie. I feel like there is an ambush. Cindy drew her bow to warn, the runes are server codes. Bohan must have been here. Yuxuan, where's your intuition? Yuxuan nodded, piecing together the clues in his mind. As mentioned in the old announcement, this channel connects the source of the internal battle, the data battle between the two teams. Bohan is the vanguard, we have to be the first. He quickened his pace, and his leadership responsibility made him no longer hesitate. The three of them went deep into the passage. The wind blew from behind, mixed with whispering system noises, and the pace of their investigation became more determined. At the end of the passage, a light door flashes, and the system prompts, unlock the main branch, reveal the inner ghost. Yuxuan pushed the door open, and his eyes suddenly opened up. On the edge of the central island, a data tower stood, and Bohan's guild flag fluttered faintly in the fog. Zhiming held the axe tightly. Here we come, the decisive battle at the outpost. Cindy shot an arrow to explore the way. Be careful, the remnants of the boss may be here. Yuxuan took a deep breath, and the strategy took shape in his mind. At this moment, he had transformed from a player into a real leader, leading the team to face the storm. The data tower stands in the fog of the central island, like a giant silver-gray needle piercing the clouds. It is surrounded by low-frequency buzzing, and the air is filled with the smell of ionized burnt. Yuxuan squinted his eyes and stared at the faintly fluttering guild flag, Bohan's mark, the totem of a black panther swallowing a sword, making a hunting sound in the wind. He took a deep breath and quickly pieced together the intelligence fragments just now, the server reorganization records of the old announcement, the NPC's confession, and the virus traces of the tyrant boss, all pointed in the same direction. This is not just a farce by players, he whispered, turning to his teammates. Bohan is backed by server operators. They want to manipulate PvP events, and Hero Duel is the key. The winner not only gets the prize, but also affects the company's resource allocation. The new faction used a virus to implant a backdoor, delaying the response of Server A, forcing us to lose the cross-server battle, proving that their system is more optimized. This conspiracy points directly to reality, and all esports investments are monopolized by them. Zhiming held the axe tightly, the blade wrapped in thunder and lightning buzzed. He squatted down to check the footprints on the ground, his brows furrowed into the character Chuan. Fuck, Bohan, that bastard, is expanding as fast as a virus. These footprints are fresh and he left not long ago. There are at least a dozen of his guild members who trampled the surrounding data crystals. Yuxuan, you are right. I used to think he was just lucky. Now it seems that someone opened the back door for him. We have to hurry up before they take the opportunity. He took out a bottle of energy supplement from his backpack and handed it to Cindy. Sister, take a sip first and maintain your vision. Your arrow was as accurate as a radar just now. Cindy took the tonic and drank it in one gulp. She lightly pulled the bowstring and scanned the cracks in the tower base with her eyes. The cross-verification of the information is correct. The hidden code of the company announcement shows that the developers of the new faction have the authority to modify the event parameters. Bohan's expansion of power is a test. They want to implant a large-scale delay in the duel, so that the players on server A can't move like a stuck machine. She smiled and said in a tone of voice there was a bit of gossip in a street tea house. Yuxuan, it's a pity that you can't be a detective. From the fragments in the thunderstorm area to the map here, our clues are connected like a skewer. Come on, there is a hidden branch entrance at the base of the tower. I have analyzed the old version of the map. It is connected to the high-end props area, but it is full of traps. Yuxuan nodded, a trace of pride flashing in his heart. From fighting alone to coordinating the overall situation, this growth is as real as a game upgrade. He brought up the interface and marked the weakness of the tower base. Okay, the team mode is fully activated. Zhiming, you are responsible for supplying and pulling monsters. Cindy is responsible for skill prediction. I coordinate the path and output. Let's break in and collect data core. That the key to strengthening the equipment is to resist virus interference. Bohan's flag is flying on the top of the tower. Let's go around the flanks and don't touch it. The three of them nodded in agreement, and Yuxuan took the lead. The dagger lightly cut through the vine camouflage at the base of the tower, and a faint blue light door slowly emerged. The system prompt flashes, enter the hidden branch, data maze. Danger level, high, probability of dropping high-level props plus 30%. Behind the light door is a winding underground passage. The walls are pulsating with blue light like circuit boards, and a low hum echoes in the air, like the gasp of an overloaded server. Zhiming opened the way, the ground shaking slightly with his heavy boots. This place is as hot as a steamer, and it smells like burnt wires. Be careful where you step. I see a rune trap. If you step on it wrong, it will trigger the power grid. As he spoke, he threw out a probe, and a stone slab on the ground lit up, and arcs of electricity shot out instantly, almost hitting his legs. Yuxuan pulled him back, his heart beating faster, but his mind was already running. The announcement mentioned that this maze is a legacy of the company's internal testing, and the series of traps simulates PvP interference. Predict the first wave, ground power grid plus wall lightning spikes. As soon as he finished speaking, a series of traps exploded in front of the passage, the ground cracked, the electric grid spread like spider threads, and the runes on the wall came to life, shooting out sharp lightning thorns and attacking the three of them. Cindy's eyes lit up, she drew her bow and shot to cut off an electric arc. Analysis completed. The power grid locks on the heat source, and the lightning thorns track in a straight line with an interval of 0.8 seconds. Zhiming, use your axe to break the mesh. Yuxuan, dodge the thrust by turning sideways. I'll shoot at the center of the wall and cut off the power supply. Her arrow was as precise as a laser, hitting a flashing node on the wall. The lightning thorns immediately deflected and smashed into the ground, smoking. Zhiming laughed and smashed the axe in a round circle. This thunder crystal armor makes me like an Iron Man. The electric current rushes up and it's just itchy. He threw the supply bomb from his backpack and hit it at Yuxuan's feet. The blue light filled the air and restored his agility. Boss, go on. Don't waste your shadow steps. Yuxuan seized the opportunity, flashed his body, and drew the dagger across the edge of the power grid, cutting off a main vein. His combat skills improved rapidly during this series of attacks. In the past, he only relied on personal dodge, but now he learned to borrow supplies from his teammates, predict group threats, and coordinate counterattacks. Turn to the left channel, the next wave is a group attack, Thunderball Chain. He shouted, and his inner monologue was brief, this team has turned me from a player to a general. Sure enough, several purple thunderballs emerged from the end of the passage, bouncing and splitting, locking onto the trajectory of the three people, and spreading like a virus, pervasive. Spread into a triangle. Yuxuan commanded. Zhiming rushed forward to shoulder a ball, and his armor exploded with sparks, but he rolled away in time and threw out the second bottle of supplements to Cindy. Sister, your arrows are helping me. Keep your health bar steady. Cindy gritted her teeth. She drew her bow and shot 3 arrows in a row, shattering the 2 splitting balls. The weak point of the thunder ball is the core vortex. If the ball misses by 2 degrees, it will trigger a chain reaction. Her analysis was like a timely rain. The spheres collided with each other, bursting into an electric mist, and the passage was temporarily cleared. Yuxuan took advantage of the chaos and rushed into the core area, pierced the last ball with a knife, and picked up the dropped data chip, a high-level prop. The system prompted, enhanced dagger, antivirus plus 20%, increased burst damage. I got it. This thing can prevent us from being trapped by delays in the duel. He handed Zhiming half of the fragments to strengthen the axe, use it separately and share it with the team. Going deep into the maze, they turned a few corners and suddenly saw a vision, a half-open data room filled with flashing crystals. In front of the central console, several players from the Bohan Guild were busy, with flags erected next to them. One of them turned around and saw them and exclaimed, "Intruder! Inform the boss, the spies from Server A." Zhiming growled, "Did you see it? Bohan's power has expanded here, and they are planting virus codes. Before the cross-server duel, they want to block our way." The guild players rushed towards us with their swords drawn, and a battle broke out, but Yuxuan's eyes sternly said, "Don't fight hard, sneak attack on the console. Cindy, seal the road. Zhiming, distance yourself, I'll cut off the source." In the melee, Cindy rained down arrows, forcing the forwards back. Their skills are standard PvP routines, with a 0.3-second delay in prediction. Bohan has optimized them. Zhiming swept his axe, supply bombs continued uninterrupted. "I'll hold on, you guys go up." Yuxuan shuttled in shadow steps, his dagger inserted straight into the console, sparks flew, and the virus code collapsed. The guild players retreated, leaving behind several power badges. The system displayed, witnessing hostile expansion, intelligence update, Bohan Guild controls 3 data points, and the hero showdown will become the focus. Yuxuan picked up the badge and analyzed, their power is like a snowball, getting bigger and bigger. There will be their traps on the duel map, and we have to be prepared to counterattack. His combat skills became more proficient in this reversal, and dodge was no longer instinct, but a calculated team rhythm. The 3 of them gasped and exited the data room. The air in the back part of the maze was fresher, and the pulsation in the walls weakened. Zhiming wiped his sweat and said with a grin, "The series of battles just now were as exciting as a roller coaster. Yuxuan, your coordination allowed us to have 0 damage, and we have obtained high-level items, so the cross-server battle is on track." Cindy nodded and drew back her bow. Bohan's expansion indicates that the duel will be bloody. They have backdoors, and we have brains. Yuxuan, from the thunderstorm to here, your leadership is shining like upgraded equipment. Yuxuan smiled and looked at the exit at the end of the passage. Light poured in and he could vaguely see the entire central island, the warm-up map of the hero showdown flashing in the distance. "Thank you, friends. This is not just a game, it is our battlefield." After collecting the props, we went straight to the competition area to reverse this conspiracy. He quickened his pace, and the team followed closely. The tension in the air was as full as a bowstring. The anticipation of the upcoming fierce showdown made every step full of power. Outside the entrance to the passage, the wind blew away the fog, and the shadows of the data towers lengthened, but their shadows had already been cast on the road to victory. Outside the entrance to the passage, the wind blew away the fog, and the shadows of the data towers lengthened, but their shadows had already been cast on the road to victory. Yuxuan took the lead and took the final step, stepping on the solid rock of the central island. The warm-up map of the distant hero showdown flashed in the sun, like a huge arena, waiting to swallow countless players. The air was filled with the sharp smell of sea breeze and metal. He turned to his teammates and said, "The tournament area is just ahead, let's warm up first." The regional competition is the touchstone for cross-server duels. If you win, you can get warm-up points and unlock exclusive equipment. As Bohan's power expands, we have to prove that Server A is not easy to bully. Zhiming swung the axe, the remaining sparks of thunder and lightning were still dancing on the blade. He grinned, warming up. It sounds like training your legs before a street ball game. The wave in the maze just now made my health bar full. Come on, boss. My thunder crystal armor has been upgraded. After leveling up, the resistance is as high as a teppanyaki. He patted his backpack, and the data chip fragments inside were still glowing slightly. We have obtained the item. After upgrading, we can dodge delays in PvP, and Bohan's back door will also have to kneel down. Cindy put away her bow and scanned the players on the horizon. The warm-up for the regional competition is in 5v5 mode, and traps are randomly generated on the map. It was mentioned in the announcement that the new system will simulate virus interference, and we need to practice prediction. Yuxuan, your mind is quick, coordinate the order of entry. Her tone was brisk, like gossiping in a tea house, but it hit a sharp analysis. I just took a look at the forum in the maze. Players are digging for hidden codes and old announcements. There may be some interesting information. The three of them quickened their pace, walked through the foggy forest on the island, and soon arrived at the entrance of the competition area. A huge light curtain was erected, and the system interface popped up. Welcome to the regional warm-up match, Fog Shadow Arena. Matching, Team, Server A Shadow Wind Team. Opponent, Server B Iron Claw Alliance. Mode, Team PvP, First Kill Points System. Players were bustling around, some were shouting guild slogans, and some were discussing equipment in low voices. Yuxuan clicked to confirm, and a calculation flashed in his mind. This warm-up match is a testing ground for Bohan's influence to infiltrate. Judging from the announced server reorganization records, the opponent is likely to use a standard routine: explore the path first, and then fight in groups. The map loaded, and they landed on the edge of the Fog Shadow Arena, a circular battlefield surrounded by jungle. The fog was filled with fog, and visibility was as low as a rainy night in Taipei. Zhiming immediately opened his reconnaissance vision. Boss, there is movement ahead. There are 5 opponents, 2 heavy armors, 2 archers, and 1 assassin. They look like Bohan's thugs, and there is a Black Panther shadow on the flag. Yuxuan squinted and quickly pieced together the announcement information in his mind. Server B has recently been updated with delay optimization, and players' skills are released 0.2 seconds faster. Their routine is to use fog to become invisible, and then charge with thunder. Predict the first wave. They will outflank from the left wing, seal the road with archers, and pull monsters with heavy armor. Zhiming, you are on the front line. Before the words were spoken, the opponent had already taken action. 2 heavy armors came out of the mist, and the axes came with the wind, accompanied by a low roar. You bastards of Server A, get back to your jammed server. Zhiming laughed, and the axes met. Sparks exploded from the thunder and lightning collision. Come on, my brother's armor is not a vegetarian. He shouldered it hard. With one blow, the health bar only dropped by 5%, and he threw out the supply bomb to Yuxuan. Boss, go on. Prepare your shadow step. Yuxuan flashed, and the dagger passed through the fog, predicting the trajectory of the opponent's assassin. The announcement mentioned that the assassin's skill of Server B has a 0.3 second delay dead zone. He sideways avoided a stabbing attack and had a brief inner monologue. This is growth, from a single person's flash to a team's prediction. The dagger stabbed the opponent's shoulder with a backhand, and the burst of damage caused the assassin's health bar to drop wildly. The weak point is in the joints. The hidden code in the announcement shows that their armor has a backdoor vulnerability. Cindy's arrows were like rain, shooting through the core of the fog. A blue note exploded, and her vision instantly became clear. The analysis is correct. Their caricature is a trap and resets every 1.5 seconds. Zhiming, keep the distance. She drew her bow and fired continuously, forcing the 2 archers back. The opponent started the second wave of offensive. Group thunderballs came, like a replica of the maze, but faster. Yuxuan shouted, the triangle spreads. Predict the trajectory, turn left to track, dodge to the right. The team moved in tacit agreement. Zhiming smashed a ball with an axe, and the supply bomb rolled to Cindy's feet. Girl, hold on. Your arrows save the field. Yuxuan took advantage of the chaotic shadow steps and stabbed the weak point of the heavy armor with his dagger, and his points increased. The third wave, they will use delay traps, and the floor will block skills. Don't step in the red zone. Sure enough, a red net lit up on the ground, and the opponent laughed. Your server is as slow as an ox, try to optimize it. But Yuxuan's reasoning was accurate, the team bypassed it, Cindy's arrows blocked the retreat, and Zhiming hit the last archer with a heavy blow. System prompt, victory. Shadow Wind team's first kill points plus 50, unlocking the warm-up reward, the anti-lag amulet. The opponent was wiped out and the fog on the field dissipated. Yuxuan wiped his sweat and turned to his teammates, well done. This wave of predictions caused us 0 injuries. We have thoroughly absorbed Bohan's routine. Zhiming patted him on the shoulder and smiled as if he had won a street basketball game. Boss, your brain is a cheating machine. From the maze to here, your strategies are becoming more and more like those of the old Jianghu, and you are no longer a solo hero. Cindy drew her bow, her eyes sparkling. Yes, friend, love and competition, this warm-up match allowed me to clearly see the tacit understanding of the team. Let's go, there is a teleport point at the exit, go back to the main city to dig up the forum. The 3 people left the arena and teleported back to the main city square of Era of Fantasy. There was a lot of people talking around the bulletin board. The game forum in the main city is like a lively night market, with posts scrolling on the virtual screen. Yuxuan found a rest area in a corner and called up the interface, announcement of hidden codes, starting from the reorganization of the old version of the server. Look here, there is garbled code in the 3rd line, sys_opt_bz, cross-verification of NPC confession, which is the abbreviation of Bohan's backend. Zhiming came over and ate the virtual barbecue and said, I will upgrade. Tool. Data chip is integrated into the axe, and the antivirus is plus 25%. The supply bomb can now restore the dodge value. Girl, are you simulating a boss battle? Yuxuan's fingers flew, cracking the hidden layer, found it. There is an encrypted log at the bottom of the announcement. The developers of the new faction colluded with the real-life esports company, and the winner of the hero showdown will get a share of the investment. Bohan's guild is a pawn. They implanted viruses to delay the A server in order to monopolize resources. In reality, sponsorship money and event broadcast rights were all eaten up by them. Zhiming axe. With a wave of her head, the test move exploded with lightning. You bastard. This is not just a game, it is a real money fight. No wonder Bohan is expanding so fiercely, with the backing of a financial backer. Cindy dodged the simulated Thunderthorn and counterattacked with arrows. Practice completed, dodge rate is 95%. The conspiracy involves reality, we have to expose it, but we must win the duel first. Yuxuan, your reasoning makes this matter like a detective drama, exciting. While they were chatting, there was a commotion at the edge of the square. Several players came over, headed by the deputy of Bohan's team, a sturdy swordsman with a Black Panther badge on his waist. He sneered at Yuxuan, hey, Shadow Wind from Server A. You won the Iron Claw in the warm-up match. You're lucky. But when we meet in the Hero Showdown, Boss Bohan will let you know what optimization is. The 2 players behind him agreed, drawing their swords to demonstrate, get away, don't be an eyesore. Players around him whispered, and the air tightened instantly, like the eve of a street fight. Zhiming tightened his grip on the axe, thunder and lightning buzzed. Provocation? Come on, buddy, my hand is itching. But Yuxuan raised his hand to stop him, and his mind was racing. This is an opportunity, and witty resolution can lead to intelligence. His strategic thinking is more mature and he is no longer impulsive. He smiled and said, brother, we won the points in the warm-up match. Are you not convinced that server be lost? The optimization in the announcement sounds great, but the delay blind spot is 0.3 seconds. How to break it? Share, maybe we can beat you in the hero showdown. The deputy was stunned. Unexpectedly, Yuxuan hit the pain point. The team members whispered, "Boss, does this kid know the blind spot?" Yuxuan continued, "I found it from the forum. Your swordsman's routine is to feint first and then hit hard, but the back door of the armor is at the shoulder joint, and the virus code will amplify the delay. Cooperation? Or force it?" The deputy's expression changed slightly. The ambitious Bohan team was most afraid of information being leaked. He lowered his voice, "Humph, smart boy. There are traps for us on the hero duel map, but if you disclose the hidden code, we will join forces to kill you." Yuxuan nodded and pretended to relent, "Okay, private deal. Weak. It's fair to exchange some information for our dodge experience." The deputy hesitated and dropped an intelligence chip. "Take it. The weak point of Bohan's thunder shield is in the charging gap. There is a 0.5-second gap. But don't think that you will win, the battle will tell the truth." They turned and left, leaving an awkward atmosphere. Zhiming breathed a sigh of relief and laughed loudly, "Boss, you are so talkative. You can resolve conflicts and exploit weaknesses. Bohan's team has found a flaw in the thunder shield, and our boss evasion practice is even better." Yuxuan held the intelligence chip tightly and looked at the countdown of the duel between heroes in the center of the square. The numbers on the light screen jumped. The war will begin in 3 days. Tension surges in the air, their footsteps point to deeper secrets. Bohan's shadow is shrouded, but the road to victory has already been paved. Yuxuan tapped the intelligence chip with his fingers, and the noise in the square came like a night market hawker. He glanced at the countdown light screen. The hero showdown would begin in 3 days. The information about Bohan's thunder shield's weakness was like a reassurance, but he always felt that this matter was not that simple. "Let's go, find a quiet place and continue digging. Someone on the forum mentioned the deep encryption of old announcements, and maybe we can uncover tricks for cross-server manipulation." He turned to Zhiming and Cini and said, his tone was as casual as a street food stall in Taipei, but he couldn't hide the excitement. Zhiming chewed the last bite of the virtual barbecue and wiped his mouth. "Boss, your head turns faster than my axe. The information you obtained from Bohan's team just now was like haggling in an alley. If you win, you will get an extra hand. Let's go to the hidden tavern in my guild. There is a soundproof array there, so you won't be afraid of people digging around." Cini nodded and flicked the bowstring, as if to confirm. Crescent Moon said, "Yes, I simulated the boss trajectory while walking. The virus simulation announced sounds like a street racing trap, so you need to practice prediction. Yuxuan, you take the lead, and I will follow your reasoning." The three squeezed out of the crowd and crossed the foggy stone road in the main city. Zhiming led the way, and the thunder on the axe occasionally flashed to scare away a few players who were peeking. The guild hidden tavern is hidden in the back alley of the square. It looks like a tea house in old Taipei. There are vague lanterns hanging at the door. When you enter, there are wooden tables and stone benches, and the virtual aroma of rice wine floats in the air. Zhiming threw out a few game coins and bought a pot of hot tea. "Sit down, sister, you warm up first. I'll guard the door and don't let Bohan's spies break in." Yuxuan brought up the interface, and the intelligence chip was embedded in the announcement panel, and garbled codes scrolled on the screen like raindrops. He took a deep breath, and a brief thought flashed through his mind. From digging code alone to cracking as a team, this was the right move. Now I am not a lone wolf, but the leader of the team. Look here, the new version of sys_opt_bz crosses the old announcement. There are 3 encryption layers: server optimization on the surface, virus implantation in the middle, and control logs at the bottom. Bohan's guild flag, Black Panther, corresponds to the code BLK_puppet. Try to unlock it. Fingers flew, the interface dinged, and the hidden log popped up, like digging out the secret recipe of a hidden stall in the night market. Yuxuan's eyes lit up. It's done. The control mechanism of cross-server duels has been exposed. There is a developer team within the game company that controls the matching rate and delay value through backdoor programs. players on server B have a 30% higher chance of winning because the virus has blocked the skills of server A. A pause of 0.5 seconds. The winner not only gets points, but can also exchange them for real-life esports shares. Bohan's power is the chess piece, and the sponsor behind it is the broadcast company, which wants to monopolize the era of fantasy event market. Zhiming slapped the table and shook his teacup. Damn. This is not just that. It's a game PvP, it's a real money pit. That guy Bohan is so ambitious, no wonder our server A is being targeted. Winning the Iron Claw in the warm-up match is not enough, we have to take the initiative. Yes, the control mechanism is like the trap of mist in shadow competition. The team decided to challenge the elite boss and collect loot to strengthen the lineup. The announcement mentioned that the hidden copy of Thunder Fortress has an anti-control talisman, which can neutralize the virus delay. Yuxuan nodded and smiled. Okay, let's do it like this. I will lead the dodge and counterattack, Zhiming will pull monsters to collect the loot, and Cinny will predict the skills. We have changed from single-player painting to team combo. This is my transformation, no longer solo, now I am the core, leading you to reverse. The three of them clinked glasses, the tea was steaming, and they swore an oath like street buddies, and then teleported into the Thunder Fortress. The entrance to the dungeon is a fortress surrounded by electric lights. The wind howls like a typhoon night in Taipei, and the air has a strong metallic smell. System prompt, Elite Boss, Thunder Guardian. Mode, Team Challenge, weaknesses need to be solved through reasoning. The boss stands in the center, with a 10-meter-tall body like an iron tower, its arms are circling with thunder and lightning, and its roar makes the ground tremble. Intruder, try the Eternal Thunder Net. The battle begins, and the boss's first wave of skills comes. The Thunder Net spreads out like mist, and the trajectory curves and tracks. Cinny's eyes narrowed, her bowstring buzzed. Prejudgment. The left wing curves for 0.8 seconds, and the right wing rushes in a straight line. Spread out, and Yuxuan comes back. Her arrow accurately hit the mesh, a blue note exploded, and the thunder net tore a gap. Zhiming laughed, and the lightning of his axe boomed. You're right. Boss, I'll be on the front line, drawing hatred. He rushed forward, his heavy armor resisted the boss's thunder fist, and his health bar dropped by 10%, but the supply bomb was thrown out, restoring the team's dodge value. Then, the antivirus armor blocked 20% of the damage. Yuxuan Shadow Step flashed. The dagger slashed across the boss joint. The announcement log shows that the Thunder Guardian's weakness is in the charging gap, a 0.4 second blind spot. The combo starts. Ice stab, Zhiming hits hard, Cinny blocks the road. The inner monologue flashed. The team has a tacit understanding, this feels like an upgrade, from walking alone to guiding, everyone is strong together. The boss roars, the second wave, thunder thorns are like rain, and the trajectory is like fireworks on the street. Cinny drew her bow and fired continuously, trajectory analysis, spiral turn, 1.2 seconds apart. Yuxuan, dodge to the right and counterattack. The arrows shot through 3 lightning thorns, forcing the boss to reveal a flaw. Yuxuan led the way. Zhiming, supply me. Triangular formation, predict the next wave of thunderballs. Zhiming hit the ground with his axe, and the lightning backfired on the boss, and the loot fragments fell. A thunder crystal fragment. He picked it up and shouted, got it. Melted into the armor, the resistance will be increased by another 15%. Boss, your coordination makes this boss like a target. Yuxuan stabbed the boss continuously with his dagger, and the burst output was full, and the boss's health bar dropped by 20%. Counterattack combo, I draw hatred, and you exploit your weaknesses. Bohan's control mechanism, we use our strength to smash it. The boss roared, and the third wave of ultimate moves, the expansion of the Eternal Thunder Net, the whole field flashed with lightning, delayed virus simulation activation, and skill lags. But the team has developed a tacit understanding. Cinny shouted, the virus is delayed. Predict the trajectory, put the mesh on the chest, shoot. The arrows were like meteors, exploding the core and neutralizing the effect of the virus. Zhiming hit the thunder arm with a heavy blow. The loot, anti-control talisman, fell, strengthened the lineup, now we delay the return to 0. Yuxuan stepped forward and led the final combo, shadow step behind, the dagger pierced the blind spot of the boss's spine, end it. The lightning burst, the boss fell to the ground with a bang, and the system sounded, victory. Obtain elite trophies, anti-manipulation amulet X3, thunder essence. Team level +2. The fortress collapsed, and in the afterglow of the battlefield, the three of them gasped and stood still. Yuxuan wiped his sweat, well done. This wave of challenges has allowed us to change from defensive to proactive. Growth is not the responsibility of one person. Zhiming picked up the last fragment, melted it into the axe, and the lightning became more powerful. Boss, you have transformed from a single player to the core of a team. This transformation is awesome. The loot has been strengthened. The talisman can block Bohan's virus tricks. The sender is Bohan's deputy, and the content is, the control mechanism has been implanted in the hero duel map, and the Black Panther Guild will get a share, but be careful about the guy from Server A, he will dig up the logs. If necessary, find hidden allies to backstab. Yuxuan's heart sank, Bohan's involvement in the conspiracy is confirmed. Not only does he control the event, but he also drags his allies into trouble. This original twist, the suspicion of betrayal by hidden allies, maybe there is a spy in our guild. The midpoint of the plot was like a lightning strike. There was a faint sound of wind outside the square. The three people's eyes met. Zhiming clenched his axe. You bastard. We vow to join forces to expose this mess. From the maze to here, we are an iron triangle. Whoever betrays will suffer. Let's follow. Yuxuan took a deep breath, growing like a vine, from a lone ranger to a pillar of the team. He smiled, okay, take the initiative. Go back to the main city to dig up the list of allies, and find out the insider before the hero showdown. We will smash Bohan's shadow with light. The three of them teleported out the copy, their footsteps firm, the thunder of the fortress was still in their ears, and the secrets were flowing deeper like a tide. The lights in the main city square were as lively as a night market. As soon as the three of them landed, Yuxuan felt a tension in the air, like the sultry heat before a typhoon. He glanced at the players around him, and frowned at the chatter on the guild channel. Don't rush to dig out the mole, there are 2.5 days left for the hero showdown. Go back to the guild hall, integrate the intelligence, and formulate a battle plan. Bohan must be sharpening his knives. We can't just guess riddles, we have to practice actual combat. Zhiming nodded, shouldering the axe, and the lightning flashed like neon lights on the street. The enemy, boss. I'm going to explore the border, as stated in the announcement. I mentioned the ultimate item Key to the Void, which is hidden in the border of fog and shadow and can unlock cross-server hidden buffs. Give me half a day and I'll bring it back to strengthen the team. Cindy plucked her bowstring, her eyes narrowed. I'll stay in the hall and analyze Bohan's tactical video. From the warm-up match, although his Thunder Shield is strong, his combo transition has a 0.3 second delay, and his weakness lies in the recovery period after the group attack. Let's go, don't let the spies follow. The three of them squeezed into the guild hall, and the wooden door creaked shut. It was as quiet as an old tea house, with only a few NPC attendants wiping the prop racks. Yuxuan threw out the intelligence chip and projected it into a light screen map. The arena for the cross-server duel was clearly marked. The center was the Thunder Arena, surrounded by a virus fog wall, and boss simulations would appear randomly. Look here, the control mechanism has been confirmed. Server A is delayed by 0.5 seconds, but our anti-talisman can neutralize it. The plan is divided into 3 steps. First, Zhiming will fight at the border quickly, get the key to the void, and strengthen the dodge limit. Second, Cindy exploits Bohan's weaknesses, and I will coordinate the team formation, triangle dodge, predict the trajectory of the boss's ultimate move. Third, enter the trial dungeon before the game, simulate a strong enemy, and build a tacit understanding. We use our strength to expose Bohan's conspiracy. A flash in my mind, from digging codes to leading a team, this responsibility is like carrying a stall on the street. Zhiming chuckled and patted his chest. Don't worry, boss. My thunder axe has full resistance. Those fog beasts on the border are like wild dogs in the alleys. Just cut them down. The key of the void is said to unlock personal buffs. After wearing it, you can dodge like a ghost. Come back in 2 hours. Don't let Cinny wait. He teleported away, leaving a thunder tail behind with the axe. Cinny has called up the video, and the shadow of the bow and arrow is gesticulating in the air. Bohan's style is like the push at the Taipei MRT peak, rushing but not flexible. In the warm-up match, he used the Thunder Shield to block group attacks, and the subsequent combo was always stuck in the turn. The weakness was that the flank was exposed for 1 second. I simulated it, and the arrow rained by blocking the road. You can force him to delay. Yuxuan, your shadow step is a perfect match for me. Yuxuan nodded and marked the trajectory on the projection. Okay, remember, the virus fog will amplify the weakness. Our growth is here, we no longer fight alone, combo is the key. The pendulum in the hall ticked, and Yuxuan began to rehearse the formation. He summoned 2 NPC warriors as targets, his shadow step flashed, and his dagger drew an arc. Imagine this is the thunder net of a large boss, the trajectory is curved to chase people. Cinny, predict. She fired the bowstring, and the arrow shot through the virtual mesh, bend left for 0.7 seconds, spread out and counterattack. Yuxuan stepped forward and led. In the triangle position, Zhiming is in my position, and the supply is delayed. By practicing this way, the boss skill evasion rate can exceed 95%. The two ran back and forth, sweating virtually but realistically. Yuxuan felt that the team was like gears meshing, from loose to tight. This was his transformation. The leader does not give orders, but guides everyone to shine. 2 hours later, Zhiming returned from his travels, the fog still lingering on his body, holding a flashing key to the void in his hand, like a crystal lantern in a night market. It's done! The border fog beast king is guarding the key. That guy's fog claws are like typhoon leaves. I smashed them with an axe for half an hour and got this thing. Integrated into the talisman, the team dodge plus 30%, and it also comes with an antivirus pulse, which can backfire Bohan's control in the duel. He gasped and threw a fragment to Yuxuan. Boss, you use it first. I dug up clues during the exploration. The border NPC mentioned that Bohan's deputy had an informant in the guild before the game. Delay data will be transmitted. Yuxuan's eyes lit up, and the key was embedded in the chip. The buffs poured into his body, and he was as agile as the wind. Good stuff. Now the plan has been upgraded. Cinny, what's your analysis? She projected Bohan's battle clip, weak point lock. After the Thunder Shield collapsed, he was accustomed to rushing straight and ignoring flank predictions. With our void buff, he can reverse his onslaught. The team is at full strength, dodge large bosses like chopping melons and vegetables. The three people's eyes met, and their trust was as warm as hot tea. Yuxuan smiled and said, Iron Triangle, enter the trial dungeon now. Simulate strong enemies and warm up before the game. Let's go! The teleportation light flashed and he entered the trial dungeon, a floating arena. The wind howled like a high-altitude cable car, and the surrounding fog wall rolled. The system prompted, Trial Mode, Cross-Server Simulation, 3 consecutive battles with powerful enemies. Weaknesses require team reasoning. In the first scene, the simulated boss Shadow Thunder Beast appeared, with a 10-meter-long body like an armored car, and its thunder claws swept the entire place. Intruder, try the Fog Thunder combo. Zhiming laughed and rushed forward. Boss, I'm going to bring hatred. You deal the damage. The axe hit the ground, and the lightning backfired, forcing the boss to reveal its trajectory. Cinny's bowstring sounded continuously, prejudgment. The claws hit the spiral, with an interval of 0.9 seconds, and Yuxuan circles back. Yuxuan's shadow step flashed, and the dagger pierced the joints. The weakness is in the charging blind area. Combination, Zhiming hits hard, I explode, Cinny blocks the network. The battle is like a street melee, the giant beast roars, the second wave of fog and thunder is like rain, and the virus is delayed. but the void buff pulse flashed and the delay returned to 0. Leader Yuxuan shouted, counterattack. Triangle dodge, predict the next wave of claws. Zhiming's supply bombs flew out and restored the team's health bar, resist it. Boss, your coordination makes this monster a target. The system beeps, victory. Team Tacit Understanding +1, get Simulation Essence X2. The three of them gasped. Yuxuan wiped his sweat. The first game went well, but don't let go. Growing up in Crisis. The second game was even more ferocious, with a simulated Bohan team spawning and being double-teamed by 3 Thunder Shield warriors. The leader's shadow shouted, trash of Server A, kneel down. The provocation was like Bohan himself, and the voice was synthesized like a shout in an alley. Zhiming was furious, damn. Is this Bohan's trick to scare us before the game? The axe flashed with lightning, and he rushed forward to pull the monster. Cine analyzed quickly, weakness confirmation, turn behind the shield is delayed, arrows seal the flanks. Yuxuan shadow-stepped, don't fight hard, lure the enemy. Zhiming withstood, Cine and I went around a combo. The battle was stalemate, and the thunder shield hit like a hammer. The virus fog was enlarged and delayed, but the talisman neutralized it. Yuxuan's dagger cut through a shield, predict that they will charge straight, dodge to the left. The team's tacit understanding broke out. Zhiming knocked one person away with a heavy blow. Cine fired a series of arrows to seal the road, and Yuxuan exploded and pierced the leading shadow. The boss team collapsed and won the second game. System, reverse the crisis. Yuxuan's leadership +2, his strength jumped. Just as we were celebrating, the third mutation, an unexpected event, happened. Simulating the mutation of the boss and integrating the clues of the mole, a black shadow emerged from the fog, shaped like a guild NPC. The system warned, hidden betrayal simulation, the mole implants a virus and randomly delays skills. The shadow laughed, Bohan's gift, Server A is finished. It released a garbled thunder net, and its trajectory was twisted like a drunken man staggering. Yuxuan's heart tightened. This turn of events was like digging up fake goods in a night market, sudden but real. The mole. This is a pre-game preview. Team, don't panic. The reasoning track, the weakness of the black shadow is in the data core, stab it. The inner monologue is short, leading the team in crisis, this is my leap, from guessing to taking the initiative to break the situation. Zhiming swept with his axe, boss, I'm on the front line. I'll help you dodge. Cine's bowstring buzzed, prediction garbled code, the interval is unstable, shoot the core. The arrow hit the black shadow's shoulder, exposing the data point. Yuxuan's shadow step rushed forward, with the blessing of the void buff, and the dagger pierced like an electric drill, it's over. Backlash virus. The black shadow exploded, and the third game was reversed in 1, and the system rang loudly, perfect pass. Team trust deepens, the ultimate trial badge is obtained, and cross-server buffs are fully activated. The arena collapsed and the three of them stood still, sweat mixed with excitement. Zhiming patted Yuxuan on the shoulder, boss, this reversal is awesome. From the border to the dungeon, your charisma makes us like a family. The insider simulation is scary, but our iron triangle will hit anyone who comes. Perfect. Yuxuan smiled, embedded the badge into the chip, and his strength surged. Growth is not about winning a game, it is about leading everyone through the level. We will illuminate Bohan's shadow. Go back to the main city and check the guild list, the clues of the mole cannot be delayed. A provocative message from Bohan suddenly popped up on the guild channel, a server's joke, see the real story in the hero showdown. Prepare to delay kneeling. The three of them looked at each other, with tension like a bowstring being fully drawn, and they stepped toward the exit. The sound of the competition was still in their ears, and the crisis and trust were intertwined and pushed to a climax. The main city square was noisy like a night market opening. Players crowded the teleportation point, and the air was mixed with excited shouts and the buzz of system announcements. Yuxuan and the others had just bounced back to the guild hall from the trial copy. Bohan's provocative message was still hanging at the top of the channel, like an uninvited debt collector. Yuxuan waved his hand and turned off the projection, frowning and said, "This guy's talk is like a subway broadcast, annoying but without substance. Check the list first. The insider's clues are dug from the border NPCs, don't let small tricks before the game cause bad things." Zhiming slammed his axe on the ground, and the thunder light flashed brightly in the hall. "The enemy, boss." I scanned the guild members, and there are 5 newcomers added recently. 2 there are traces of Server A's IP. Damn, Bohan's hands are as long as those of a thief in the alley. Cindy clicked her fingers quickly on the light screen, plucking the strings like she was playing a guitar. I cross-compare the results, and the delay data of these 2 matched the warm-up matches. Kick them out and block their channels. 2 days before the game, Audio-Technica concentrated on preparing for the game and not letting the flies buzz. Yuxuan nodded and thought, from digging out moles to cleaning up, the tacit understanding of this team makes me feel like a street boss, having to protect my own territory. Within a few minutes, 2 suspicious accounts were frozen by the system, and the guild channel was much cleaner. The 3 of them gathered around the map projection and fine-tuned the final plan. The key of the void buff is fully activated, and the evasion rate exceeds 95%, but there are 5 people in the Bohan Alliance, and our triangle has to interact with the environment. The virus fog wall in the arena can amplify the delay. Zhiming, when you pull monsters, use the thunder axe to hit the wall, causing the fog to bite them back. Cindy, predict the flanks, I will lead the explosion in the middle. Zhiming he. Laughing, patting Yuxuan on the shoulder, "Boss, don't worry. My supply bombs are like roasted corn at the night market. I can throw them to you for recovery at any time. Bohan's thunder shield, smash it." 2 days flew by like a teleportation, and the hero showdown finally began. The system-wide server announcement roared, "The cross-server hero showdown begins. Server A, Audio-Technica vs Bohan Alliance, a fierce battle on the Thunder Arena. The winner will receive a hidden legendary item." The main city square was cleared instantly, players poured into the viewing channel, and the barrage was like a fireworks show. Yuxuan and the others teleported into the field, and the arena floated into the air. The surrounding viral fog wall rolled like an alley in Taipei's foggy season. The central thunder stage flashed blue light, and the wind howled mixed with electric arcs. Opposite, 5 members of the Bohan Alliance appeared. The leader Bohan was wearing a thunder shield, his eyes were like falcons, and the corner of his mouth was sarcastic. "Hey, the street gangsters from Server A are here? Delay the kneeling show to warm up the audience." Behind him, the 4 teammates, 2 heavy tanks, a mage, and an assassin, formed a tight formation, like a guild's iron barrels. Yuxuan didn't talk nonsense. He stood in the middle with a slight step and said, "Don't be verbose, Bohan. Your trick is just from the announcement and reasoning. Come on, the Iron Triangle will see the truth." Zhiming shouldered the axe and thundered, "Boss, I'll pull it. Frontline. These guys' shields are like paper." Cindy drew her bowstring fully and locked eyes. "Predict the start, they will rush straight into the middle, and the fog wall will delay the assist. Yuxuan, prepare on the flanks." The game whistle sounded, and the battle broke out instantly. Bohan waved his hand, "Go! The road is closed with thunder nets, crush them." The 5 members of the alliance came in like a wave, heavy tanks smashed into the ground, thunder waves spread, mages chanted virus fog bombs, and assassins flashed their flanks. The arena vibrated, the wall of fog rolled closer, and the smell of electricity in the air was pungent. Yuxuan's mind was spinning, and reasoning information came to him. The hidden code of the announcement showed that Bohan's thunder net had a 0.5-second preheating trajectory, and with a delay weakness, it could take advantage of the fog to backfire. "Spread out." Zhiming holds up the shield, while Cindy and I go around the fog wall. With his shadowy steps, blessed by the void buff, he flashed into the edge of the fog like a ghost. Zhiming laughed and rushed forward, hitting the ground hard with his axe, "Eat my thunder and backfire." The axe blade hit the wall of fog, and the virus pulse rebounded, forcing the Bohan tank to take half a step back, and the health bar dropped slightly. "Damn, why is this fog biting?" Tank cursed, his formation slightly disordered. Cine fired arrows continuously, prejudgment. The mage chants for 0.7 seconds, shut up. One arrow shot cut off the mage's gesture, and the virus fog bomb was deflected, hitting her own assassin, and the delay was superimposed. The battle is like a streetcar battle, fierce and stalemate. Bohan sneered, his thunder shield fully activated. Little trick. Combination, siege the middle. He personally went into battle, his thunder claws went straight towards Yuxuan, the trajectory curved like a whip sucking the air. Yuxuan felt short-tempered in his heart. This offensive is fierce, but the weakness is turning, and growth is about seizing this moment. Dodge to the right, anticipate the curved attack. He moved sideways with a shadow step, and stabbed the edge of Bohan's shield with his dagger, and the explosive output scraped off a layer of armor. Bohan groaned, "You guys have a moment, but your delay is mine." The Alliance assassin sprang out of the fog, stabbing Yuxuan's back with a dark blade. Zhiming's eyes tightened, the supply bomb flew out. "Boss, go on. Resume dodge." The projectile hit, Yuxuan's health bar returned to full, the void buff pulse flashed, and the backlash assassin was delayed, making the opponent's movements like an old computer that was stuck. Cine adjusted on the high platform, team, environment interaction. Smash the fog wall to trigger thunder. She swept the fog wall with arrows, forcing the mage to retreat. At the same time, she hit the nodes of the fog wall, and the virus fog exploded like a smoke bomb, obscuring the field of vision. Yuxuan seized the opportunity. Zhiming, hit the tank's flank hard. Bohan's shield is delayed. Zhiming whirlwind his axe, and the lightning hit the tank, using the fog to amplify the damage, and the tank's health bar dropped wildly. "Ah! This fog is poisonous." Bohan's face changed slightly, and the Alliance formation began to loosen, but they counterattacked fiercely. 5 people attacked together, Thundernet plus virus bombs were fired together, half of the arena was occupied, the iron triangle was forced to the middle, and the health bar was pressed to the red line. "It's a stalemate, boss." Zhiming gasped, blocking a wave of thunder claws with his axe. "They have too many people, and the supplies can't keep up." "Found it. Bohan, your virus is not a fog, it is a system hacker. Look at the data core, the chip behind your shield." He shouted, and at the same time, he rushed forward with a dagger and slashed at Bohan's back. Bohan's eyes panicked, "Shut up." But it was too late. Yuxuan's intelligence cracking ability was activated, projecting an evidence light screen. "System alert, server B is illegally implanted, delaying manipulation confirmation." The viewing channel went crazy, with barges saying "Conspiracy exposed." "Server A, come on." This reversal was like a comeback in a night market, and the morale of the Iron Triangle was skyrocketing. Zhiming shouted, "Big boss! Smash them now!" He threw supply bombs continuously, restored the team to full capacity, hit the fog wall hard with his axe. The virus backfired on the entire Alliance, and the delayed stacking caused Bohan's combo to jam. Cine immediately said, "Weakness exposed." The assassin is blocked by the rain of arrows. Yuxuan explodes Bohan. The arrows are like rain, sealing the flanks. Yuxuan walks in shadow, the void buff dodges the lightning net, and the dagger pierces the chip. "End your trick." The burst output explodes, Bohan's shield collapses, the health bar drops by half, and the Alliance siege instantly collapses. The tank fell to the ground, the mage's chant was interrupted, and the assassin tripped over the fog. Bohan backed away, his face livid. "This, impossible." "How do you know?" Yuxuan sneered, "The reasoning starts from the announcement. Your ambition is like a ghost in the fog, it will disappear when you poke it." The battle situation reversed, and the Iron Triangle counterattacked like a wave. Zhiming grabbed the remaining tanks and said, "Brothers, let's see whose axe is stronger." He struck hard and slashed repeatedly, amplified by the arc of the environment, and the tanks collapsed. Cine's prediction was accurate. The mage rushes straight, shoots the leg. One arrow destroyed the opponent's movement, and Yuxuan's leader shouted, "Triangle position, press on. Fully open the fog wall, backfire, and delay them." The 3 of them had a tacit understanding like a family, and the combo was smooth, and the Bohan alliance was losing ground. The roar of the competitive typhoon intensifies, and the virus fog assists the battle like a living creature. The growth of the Iron Triangle shines at this moment. Yuxuan is no longer a lone assassin, but a battlefield think tank, leading the team to fight out of the crisis. Bohan gasped and summoned the remaining team. Don't panic, the ultimate thunder explosion. His chip flashed and he tried to control it by force, but the system alarm rang loudly. Illegal intervention, points will be deducted from server B. The evidence was exposed and the alliance collapsed, and the audience cheered. Yuxuan's eyes were firm, and his heart was surging. This climax is not about winning the battle, but about proving the team's iron blood. From guessing to dominating, responsibility is like a shield to protect everyone. Hold on. We will defeat the next wave of siege. Zhiming followed up with supplies, and Cini escorted with arrows. The battle pushed deeper, and the boss simulation hidden in the fog wall loomed. The crisis was not over, and the tension was like a bow stretched to its limit. The fog wall on the arena was like the alleys after rain in Taipei. It was sticky and rolling, mixed with the crackling sound of electric arcs, making the entire space look like a sweltering night market temple fair. Bohan's face was distorted in the blue light. He was breathing heavily, and the chip flickered behind the fragments of the thunder shield. The ultimate thunder blast. Blow up these cockroaches in server A for me. As soon as he finished speaking, he raised his hands high, and lightning burst out of his body, like a street popcorn machine exploding, and his whole body condensed into a pulsating thunderball. The three remaining members of the alliance, the mage, the assassin, and a half-health tank, also sang along, and the wall of virus fog was pulled by lightning and surged towards the middle of the Iron Triangle. The barrage in the viewing channel went crazy. Bohan's big move is coming. Hold on, Iron Triangle, this thunderball looks like a nuclear bomb. Yuxuan's heart tightened, but the confidence, like the smell of barbecue in the night market, hit his face, and his mind instantly pieced together the hidden clues of the announcement. The vague description of thunder explosion mode in the update announcement, combined with the insider data previously dug up, showed that this ultimate move was not a pure skill, but a system vulnerability implanted by Bohan, specifically targeting the cross-server delay weakness to amplify the output. Team, don't panic. This thunder blast has a preheating ring, and the trajectory is fixed within 0.8 seconds. Judging from the announcement, it uses the fog wall to conduct electricity, and the weak point is the core chip. Zhiming, sacrifice your thunder axe cover, break the fog wall diversion. Cini, crack mode, shoot the arrow at the edge of the ball, forcing it to deflect. He yelled, his voice was as steady as a veteran. Shadow Step was already open, the void key buff was buzzing in the body, and the dodge rate was reaching the limit. Zhiming grinned, his eyes flashing with brotherly fire. Boss, leave it to me. This item should have been burned. He threw out the last enhanced supply bomb from his backpack. It was a rare item they collected from NPCs on the border. It contained an antivirus pulse, but now it had to be used as a bomb. With the axe raised high and the lightning booming, he rushed into the edge of the fog wall and said, "Take my axe and cut off your wires." With a heavy blow, the axe blade was embedded in the nodes of the fog wall. At the same time, supply bombs exploded, and pulse waves scattered like fireworks in a night market, backfired by lightning diversion. The fog wall shook violently, and the conductive path was broken. The trajectory of Bohan's thunderball was skewed, brushing past Yuxuan's shoulder and exploding at the edge of the stage. The arc splashed but did not directly hit the vital point. Zhiming's health bar dropped by half, and his thunder axe was full of cracks, but he shouted, "It's done. Boss, the fog wall is broken, and their delay will bite them back." Cini was not idle, her bowstring was buzzing, her eyes were like a cat locked on prey, mode cracked. This thunderbolt is a cycle of 5 strikes. After the first wave deflects, the second wave will strike from the flank. The hidden circuit in the announcement is this ambition. Bohan wants to use it to control the entire arena and prove that B server dominates cross-server. She fired arrows in succession, accurately hitting the weak point on the edge of the thunderball. The trajectory of the virus neutralized the arc, making the ball expand and become unstable. The assassin jumped out of the fog and wanted to sneak up on her. Cindy dodged sideways, and her high evasion rate made her like a willow in the wind. "Wanna steal a chicken?" "There is no way." He fired an arrow back, sealing the assassin's legs. The delay in superimposition made the opponent's movement stuck like an old subway door. Her analysis not only saved herself, but also opened the way for the team. At this moment, the tacit understanding of the iron triangle was like a family eating hot pot around the table, lively but orderly. Bohan's face was ashen, and the second wave of thunderballs had already taken shape. He gritted his teeth. "You little characters, what do you know? This game is supposed to be the world of Server B. The virus I implanted can permanently delay Server A's kneeling, cross-server heroes. Ha, I want to be the king." His ambition was clearly exposed in his shouts. Watching the battle, the barrage exploded. It turns out to be a server conspiracy. This guy Bohan wants to hack the system? Come on, Audio-Technica, expose his background. Yuxuan listened to these, and his heart flashed. From the announcement to this moment, my growth is not to fight alone, but to lead everyone to expose the ghost in this fog. Confidence surged up like a tide, and he led the way. Cindy, suppress the mage. Zhiming, hold on to the tank, let's fight back. The void key is fully activated and bite his chip. The three of them moved like a dance, and they took advantage of the remaining viruses in the fog wall to entangle the alliance, delaying the reversal of weaknesses, making Bohan's combo messy like a kite with a broken string. The battle situation intensified, and half of the arena was reduced to a thunder and fog melee zone. Arcs and virus pulses intertwined, like a fireworks battle in an alley. The mage tried to chant the virus bomb again, but Cindy Jianyu silenced him first. "I have seen through your chanting mode, 0.4 seconds gap, shoot." The arrow hit his throat, the mage fell to the ground, and his health bar was cleared. The tank rushed towards Zhiming, as heavy as a bus when it turned. "Boy, hit me." Although Zhiming's axe cracked, the lightning-enhanced armor withstood it. He leaned sideways to use his strength and counterattacked and hit the tank's flanks hard. "Brother, your shield is like a paper night market stall, smash it." The environmental interaction was activated, the residual fog amplified the damage, and the tank suddenly knelt down. The assassin wanted to go around, but was intercepted by Yuxuan's shadow step. "You want to run? I have deduced all the backdoor programs in the announcement. Your delay is Bohan's trick." The dagger flashed, and the burst output wiped off half of the assassin's blood. The opponent's delay was stuck, and he was tripped by the wall of fog and self-destructed the virus bomb. Bohan was the only one left in the alliance. His third wave of thunderballs was ready to go out. His eyes were as fierce as a street bully. "Come on, Yuxuan. Let's face it in a one-on-one fight. No matter how powerful your reasoning is, you can't stop my Thunder Core." The center of the stage was empty, and the fog wall receded, revealing a hidden system core that was the core of the conspiracy hinted at in the announcement, Bohan's virus implantation point. Yuxuan did not retreat, the void buff pulse flashed, and he stepped forward. "Bohan, your ambition has been revealed from the update announcement. That crystal core is not the source of your ultimate move, but the key to your hacker server. Team, cover me." Zhiming and Cindy followed immediately. Zhiming threw the last supply fragment. "Boss, restore to full power, dodge and charge." The moment of duel was like a bowstring breaking. Bohan's thunder claws swung out, the trajectory curved and hit Yuxuan's heart. Yuxuan's mind was racing, and his intelligence cracking ability was fully activated. The hidden code in the announcement showed that there was a delay circuit in the core of the thunder blast, and the weakness was turning in an instant. He dodged to the side, and the dagger flew back through the void, stabbing Bohan's arm. "Your thunder shield collapsed, and now it's the crystal core." Bohan groaned, and hit the thunder ball with his backhand, but Yuxuan's prediction was accurate, and he avoided it with his shadow step. At the same time, he shouted, "Look at this! System, skin crystal core." The projection light screen popped up, and the evidence lit up like a night market lantern. "Alert, Server B virus implantation confirmed, target manipulation cross-server incident. the core of the conspiracy exposed. Bohan intends to collapse Server A and seize control of the hidden legendary items. The audience was excited, the system deducted points, and the power of Bohan's Thunderball dropped sharply. Here comes the original twist. Yuxuan was not in a hurry to end it. He used the collected border props, or reversal stone, to throw it at the crystal core. The stone is embedded, and the pulse backfires on Bohan's implanted program, making the thunder blast not only ineffective, but also reversely transmitting the virus back to Server B. How is this possible? Bohan's eyes widened, his health bar dropped wildly, and his ambition was shattered. Yuxuan dagger followed up and attacked the weak point with a burst of attacks. Your conspiracy has been lost since the announcement. The game belongs to everyone, not your throne alone. Bohan retreated, and the thunder shield completely shattered. He knelt down and gasped, "Boy, you won this game, but the core of the conspiracy is still hidden in the hidden copy. The cross-server crisis is not over." Before he could finish his words, the system judged, Iron Triangle wins. Points will be deducted for violations, and Server B will be suspended. But the crisis was not over yet. The crystal core in the center of the arena cracked, and the hidden boss simulation of Virus Thunder Beast emerged from the fog, roaring loudly, like the muffled thunder after the night market. Yuxuan wiped his sweat and turned to look at the team. Zhiming, Cine, this is the real climax. The props are used up, but our reasoning is still there. Up, Iron Triangle, break the source of this conspiracy. Although Zhiming's axe is broken, he is full of smiles. Boss, charge. The roar of the Virus Thunder Beast was like an explosion at a construction site in Taipei's Cine district, causing the ground of the arena to crack with mist-like gaps. Blue-purple thunder and lightning shot out from the beast's body, mixed with the green light of the virus, like the random flashes of neon bulbs in a night market when they break down. Its body was as huge as a container truck. As its claws stepped on it, the wall of mist condensed again, turning into an array of spikes and rushing towards the Iron Triangle trio. Yuxuan squinted at the fragment of the crystal core in the center of the beast's head. It was an extension of the Bohan virus, the dungeon trigger hidden in the announcement. A flash occurred in his mind. This was not a random boss, but a ticket to the source of the conspiracy. Team, don't touch them head-on. This Thunder Beast is a gatekeeper, and its weak point is the virus capsule in its tail. If you break it, you can open the hidden copy. Zhiming, hold your front paws. Cine, shoot the edge of the tail to force it to turn around, and I'll look for the formation. His voice was as steady as a boss ordering food, and his leadership became more mature in the aftermath of victory. He transformed from a simple reasoning boy to a hero who leads the team to break the system. Although Zhiming's axe was cracked, his thunder armor was still buzzing. He grinned and rushed forward. Don't worry, boss. This guy's claws are like the shovel of a night market teppanyaki. I'm the best at head-to-head encounters. He rolled sideways, activated environmental interaction, and used the pulse of the residual fog wall to strengthen the axe blade, and hit the Thunder Beast's front paw with a heavy blow. He raised his claws and swept through the lightning arc. Zhiming's health bar dropped by 1/3, but he roared, "Take my electric axe. The last supply bomb, restore your dodge." The warhead was thrown out and exploded at the feet of Yuxuan and Cine. The antivirus pulse was as refreshing as herbal tea, the team buff was superimposed, and the Void Key's dodge rate went straight to the limit. The Thunder Beast roared in pain, smashed its claws into the air, holes exploded in the ground, and fog spikes scattered in all directions, giving the three people breathing room. Cine tightened her bowstring tightly, her eyes locked on the tail of the beast. Yuxuan, your analysis opponent, the virus in this bag is Bohan's backup program. The announced loop delay will cause it to spray every 5 seconds, and the trajectory will curve like a subway turned extreme dodge, 0.3 second prediction, side shift and roll. She fired arrows in a row, and the first arrow hit the edge of the bag, green light exploded, the beast's body froze, and its tail whipped towards her. Cine dodged like the wind, lunged and leaned back. Come on, stupid beast. I've decoded all your jet modes. The team will follow and enter the dungeon when it turns around. Her guidance not only saved lives, but also shouted commands like the coach, making the Iron Triangle's movements as smooth as hip-hop. The tacit understanding deepened into a family-like trust in the crisis. The tail of the thunder beast was swept away, the bag cracked open, and the virus mist sprayed out like fireworks. Yuxuan drew closer with a shadow step, and the dagger pierced the eye of the formation, the remains of the crystal core in the center of the arena. Break the formation. This is the back door of the system, extending from Bohan's chip, injecting void pulses, and reversing its guardian mode. He shouted, the buff buzzed, the virus backfired on the beast, and thunder and lightning rushed around, killing each other. The beast roared, the ground shook violently, the crystal core completely shattered, and a light door emerged, hiding the entrance to the copy like a secret passage deep in an alley, sucking in the three people. The barrage of people watching the battle is still popping up. Iron Triangle has entered the dungeon. This conspiracy is bottomless. Is Bohan just a minion? The interior of the copy is like an underground street in Taipei, with humid foggy passages winding around, and projection codes appearing on the walls, the internal logs of the game company, flickering intermittently. Yuxuan scanned as he walked, feeling short-tempered in his heart. From the cross-server duel to this, growth means not letting go of any clues and leading the team to dig out the truth. Look, the update of the announcement is not a coincidence. It is a virus test instructed by the company's top management. The purpose is to manipulate PvP events and sell data to sponsors. Bohan is just the executor. We have to find the final evidence, the core server chip. Zhiming opened the way and hit the wall with his axe to explore the path. Boss, this place is like a haunted house. The resources are at the corner. I picked up a few anti-mine fragments to replenish your armor. Cinny, there is movement behind, it may be a mob. Cinny nodded, arrows on alert. The mob is a virus guard, with a simple mode, 3-hit cycle, and the weak point is the chip on the head. Shoot off their connection to clear the way. She sealed the throat with an arrow, and the first guard exploded, dropping data fragments. This fragment shows that the top boss is called Mr. Li, who has greater ambitions than Bohan. He wants to use cross-server crises to monopolize the virtual economy and affect the real stock price. Yuxuan, our Iron Triangle needs to break through this layer. 3 people chatted while fighting, and the conversation was like chatting at a supper stall, but there was tension hidden. Zhiming hit the monsters hard. Brother, this Mr. Li sounds like a night market owner, who specializes in cheating players. I will give you all the supply bombs, charge for the core. Yuxuan took the fragments and analyzed. Yes, the hidden code in the announcement is the evidence. Combined with Bohan's implant, this is the plan of the ghost in the company. Team, maintain the formation. At the end of the copy is the guardian boss, the King of Thunder virus. The end of the passage suddenly opened up, and a floating platform was suspended in the sea of mist. The central boss, the King of Thunder virus, was entrenched like a giant octopus, with its tentacles waving thunder nets and virus capsules pulsing. Its eyes swept across the 3 people, and the system prompt sounded, the Guardian awakens, and breaking the formation requires 3 stages, evading the lightning net, breaking the virus capsule, and destroying the core. Failure, the copy collapsed, and the conspiracy was buried forever. Yuxuan took a deep breath, and his growing self-confidence lit up like a torch. This is the source, the climax is coming. Cinny, guide the dodge route. Zhiming, get the resources full. I analyze the mechanism and break its formation. Iron Triangle, up. The first wave of boss's tentacles fell. The thunder net is like the top of the electric grid, Cinny shouted, extreme dodge. The net has 0.5 seconds to shrink the gap, roll from the left, and shoot the arrow at the base of the tentacle, forcing it to stop. She took the lead, dodged with a bow, the arrow accurately cut off the roots, and the thunder net tilted, opening a way for Zhiming. Zhiming's axe was strengthened, the fragments were embedded in the armor, and the anti-thunder buff was fully activated. Boss, supply rush. This tentacle is like a grilled squid, smash it. He charged and hit hard, environmental interaction was activated, and the sea of fog used it to amplify the damage. The tentacle shattered, and the recovery crystal dropped. Take it, the team's health bar is full, the void buff is superimposed, and dodge is invincible. Yuxuan stepping through the net, The dagger stabbed the virus capsule. The mechanism is cracked. The capsule has a delay loop. Every time a capsule is broken, 10% of the boss's weaknesses are exposed. This is the high-level loop announced, which proves the backdoor implanted by Mr. Lee. The first capsule exploded, green lights scattered, the boss's roar shook the platform, and the second stage started. Tentacles danced wildly, and virus bullets rained down. The interaction deepened in the flames of war. Cine guided while shooting. Yuxuan, your predictions are getting better and better. The trajectory of this rain of bullets is curved. It warms up for 0.2 seconds, and the team moves sideways simultaneously. Zhiming, pull the monster to disperse the firepower. Zhiming laughed. Sister Cine, thank you. Your arrows are like night market darts, sure to explode. He withstood 3 tentacles, flicked supply bombs, and restored the team's output. Yuxuan felt warm in his heart. From a good friend to an iron triangle, this growth belongs to everyone. Responsibility drives me to be an all-round hero. The dagger hit the second bag repeatedly. Look at the evidence projection. Mr. Lee's email, Bohan, accelerating virus, cross-server duel is a smoke bomb, seizing player data and selling it to real consortium. This conspiracy involves the real world. Although the barrage is invisible, the dungeon system records everything, and the evidence lights up like a lantern. A new twist in the mystery emerges. When the core of the boss is exposed, a shadow appears, which is the afterimage of Bohan, transmitted from the system connection after the defeat. He turned pale and no longer fierce. Yuxuan, I was wrong. The top management threatened my family and implanted the virus as a last resort, but your reasoning made me see clearly that this game is not a battlefield, but a trap. I regret it, and I will give you a final blow. Use my chip fragments to reverse the core. The fragments flew into Yuxuan's hands, the void key merged, the buff exploded, and backfired on the boss Thunder Net. Bohan's remorse added depth, like a street gangster suddenly waking up. Yuxuan nodded. Bohan, the past has changed, but the conspiracy has to be stopped. Team, end it. The climax breaks out, the third stage of the boss, the core pulses, and the thunder virus merges into a huge wave and attacks. Cine gave the ultimate guidance, full dodge. There is a blind spot in the wave, go around the edge of the platform. Zhiming added, resources rush and last, armor holds up. Yuxuan led the team to break the formation, lock the core weakness, inject reverse fragments, break. The dagger pierced, the pulse exploded like fireworks, the boss collapsed, and all the evidence was unlocked. Game company executive Mr. Lee's involvement in the case was confirmed, the virus plan was exposed, and the cross-server crisis was resolved. The Legend of the Iron Triangle, reward, the title of hidden hero and the right to expose reality. The platform collapsed, and the 3 people's light door came out. Yuxuan wiped his sweat and looked at the team. This is just the beginning. Mr. Lee's true identity is still waiting for us to be exposed in reality. Zhiming patted his shoulder. Boss, the Iron Triangle will always rush. The light door flashed, and the 3 people were spit out from the sea of fog. The remains of the arena were still smoking, and the barrage of spectators was like a night market crowd. The Iron Triangle is awesome. Who is Mr. Lee? The reality is about to explode. Yuxuan landed and stabilized his body, the key of the void buzzed in his palm, and the fused Bohan chip fragments were like hot braised pork rice, warmly injecting a new buff, reversal pulse, which can reverse the backdoor of the system. He glanced at the team, and his growing confidence was like the push of the MRT during rush hour, pushing him forward. Brothers, this copy is just an appetizer. Mr. Lee's conspiracy involves reality. We have to compile the evidence and report it to the authorities. Zhiming, check the supplies. Cine, skin the surrounding area to prevent the little monsters from slipping through. Zhiming swung his axe, and the cracks on the lightning armor were automatically repaired. He grinned as if he had won a night market riddle. Boss, don't worry. I picked up a pile of anti-mine fragments, enough for us to fight 3 waves of boss. The projection email just now was all recorded in the system log. Bohan's the confession clips are also evidence. This guy's transformation from an opponent to an assistant is as dramatic as a Korean drama. As he spoke, he distributed the chip, restored the team's dodge value, activated the environment interaction, and used the fog in the arena to condense into a temporary barrier, blocking the remaining virus bombs in the distance. Sister Cindy, your archery skills saved the day. Now let's do some prediction. Is there an ambush at the exit? Cindy loosened her bowstring with ease. Her eyes were like a surveillance camera on the streets of Taipei, and she focused on the shadows on the side of the stage. It's okay, there are 3 or 2 small virus guards, their trajectory is straight, and their weak point is at the tail. I'll shoot off their connection, you guys rush. Her arrow flew out, and with 2 snaps, the guards exploded into data smoke, dropping the last fragments of intelligence. Yuxuan, the pieces of the puzzle have been put together. Mr. Li's plan is to use viruses to control cross-server duels, sell player data to real-life consortiums, and monopolize the virtual economy. Every update announced is his smoke bomb. When we report, we have to use the system's backdoor channel to go directly to the official review. Her tone was steady. The tacit understanding of the Iron Triangle allowed her to transform from a mere analyst to a tactical brain who predicts the overall situation. The friendship is as sticky as family, pushing the team forward to dig out the truth. Yuxuan nodded, and there was a brief flash in his heart. From being a rookie who logged into the game to now being the overall coordinator, this growth is a gift given by the team. Responsibility is like the hot soup from the late-night snack stall, which makes me wake up. He activated the key of the void, chip fusion pulse injection system interface, and a hidden menu popped up: emergency report, upload conspiracy evidence. The diaries, emails, and projections are all packaged, and even the after-image footage of Bohan is attached. Official, Iron Triangle reports. Mr. Li's virus plan has been exposed. The source of the cross-server crisis is here, requesting system-level intervention. The interface flashed, and the system responded like thunder: evidence verification in progress. High-level officials are confirmed to be involved in the case. Activate emergency event, controller awakens, server-wide alert. The player alliance mode is activated, and the Iron Triangle gains temporary command rights. The entire server shook, and the fog wall surrounding the arena collapsed, turning into a giant light screen, projecting the shadow of Mr. Li, a middle-aged man in a straight suit, with a face as shiny as the counterfeit goods stall in the night market, and a greedy green glow in his eyes. Stupid players, do you think it's over when you break the copy? This is my game. In the light screen, the scene of the real office flashed. Mr. Li's fingers were tapping on the keyboard, and virus programs flooded into the server. A system-level incident broke out, and the arena was upgraded to the ultimate battlefield, a floating fortress. The walls were rivers of data. The central boss, the controller's incarnation, was a giant mechanical beast that fused the Thunder virus and the company's crystal core. Its tentacles danced like cables, and virus bullets rained down on it. The final guardian: destroy the 3 cores: economic module, data lock, and player control. If it fails, the whole server will be reset, and the conspiracy will come true. The afterimage of Bohan sprang out from the light door, no longer pale, but with a determined firelight. His projected figure landed on the ground, and the thunder shield fragments reorganized. Yuxuan, I told you to change the story. This Mr. Li threatened my family, but your team made me see clearly: the game belongs to everyone, not his wallet. For a temporary alliance, I will provide you with the internal chip weakness to help you reverse his backdoor. His voice was hoarse, like a repentant gangster on the street, with only the urge to atone after his ambition was broken. Yuxuan clenched his fist and said, Bohan, welcome to Iron Four Corners. Your thunder shield can withstand the first wave of bullets. Zhiming, collect countermeasure props and pick up economic crystals from the data mine on the edge of the fortress. Cindy, predict the ultimate skill, and I will coordinate the dodge attacks. Team, on. The boss roars, the first stage is activated, tentacle cables sweep, and virus bombs explode like fireworks in a night market. Bohan's thunder shield opened, buzzing to block the rain of bullets. Weakness 1, the economic module is on the left tentacle. It shrinks with a delay of 0.4 seconds. If you smash it, it will paralyze his data selling point. Zhiming charged forward, his axe strengthened the anti-mine fragments, and the environmental interaction was amplified by the data stream. Boss, Brother Bowen, thank you. This tentacle is like a telephone pole, I'll break it. He rolled to dodge, threw out the supply bomb, restored the team buff, hit the left tentacle with a heavy blow, the chip shattered, and the economic module collapsed. As the boss roared, the system prompted, the player's economic lock is unlocked, the virtual stock price is reversed, and the real consortium's losses are exposed. Zhiming laughed and picked up a countermeasure item from the mine point, a metal ball. This is the antivirus core. Injecting it can neutralize his control. Boss, here it is. Cine bowed back and locked the trajectory of the arrow. In the second stage, the data is locked in the central core. Ultimate skill prediction, virus vortex every 10 seconds, suction is like MRT soliciting passengers, blind spot is at the edge for 0.2 seconds, team, move sideways simultaneously, I shoot to break the connection. Her guidance was as accurate as the coach calling time, and the movements of the iron triangle's Gabahan were smooth and integrated. Bohan nodded, Cine, your prediction is amazing. I will repair the thunder shield and block the edge of the vortex. The virus vortex rolled in, and the green light swallowed it like mist. Yuxuan walked in with shadow steps, and coordinated, Zhiming, pull the tentacles to disperse, Bohan, suppress the shield. A sudden turning point, climax after another. In the third stage of boss, the core of player control is exposed, the projections of all players in the server emerge, and the heroes trapped by the virus struggle. The controller's incarnation merged into a huge wave, and the thunder virus beast rushed towards him. The ultimate blow, brainwash the entire server, fail to dodge, and fall into the conspiracy forever. Bohan shouted, this is Mr. Lee's last trump card, my chip can backfire, but I need your combo. Yuxuan, the ultimate strategy, I open the shield channel, you coordinate the injection of void pulses, Zhiming's supplies are full, Cine predicts the wave trajectory. Yuxuan's heart was filled with excitement, to grow to this point, from fighting alone to jointly reversing, this is the legend of the Iron Triangle. He led, everyone listened to the order. Bohan, use the shield to open the way, Zhiming, throw away all the counterprops to strengthen the buff, Cine, use extreme prediction, roll in the blind spot for 0.1 seconds, I stab the core to reverse the situation. The huge waves are overwhelming, and the lightning virus is like the torrential rain in Taipei. Bohan's thunder shield buzzed and opened a passage, charge. This is my atonement blow. Zhiming swung his axe wildly, fired supply bombs in succession, and regained his invincibility in dodge. Brothers, resources are full, like a queue at the night market, let's fight together. Yuxuan stepped forward, fully opening the void key, integrating the Bohan chip and the counter ball, the ultimate reversal, the system backdoor, injecting the player's will. The dagger pierced the core, the pulse exploded like fireworks, the whole server's projection broke free, the heroes roared in unison, and the buffs were superimposed to reverse the huge wave. The boss disintegrated, Mr. Lee's projection was distorted, no. My empire. The real picture flashed, he was surrounded by sirens, the door of the game company opened, and the official investigation team rushed in. The system announcement sounded across the server, the conspiracy was resolved, General Lee's plan was exposed, and the alliance of Audio-Technica and Bohan were awarded the title of Legendary Hero. Cross-server duel restarts, fair PvP will last forever. Reward, real-life exposure rights and shares in the virtual empire. The fortress collapsed, the three of them plus Bohan landed, and the barrage went crazy, God's turning point. Has Bohan been cleared? The eternal god of the Iron Triangle. Yuxuan wiped his sweat and looked at the team, this crisis has been resolved, but we have to follow up on the aftermath of reality. Mr. Lee has fallen, and the game is reborn. Zhiming patted him on the shoulder, boss, from friends to heroes, let's walk this road together. Cine smiled, Bohan, thank you for your alliance. Next adventure, Iron Four Corners? Bohan nodded, and the afterimage faded, Yuxuan, thank you. The truth is free, starting from here. The remaining fog of the floating fortress has cleared, and the wider interface between reality and reality is faintly shining with new light. The remaining fog from the floating fortress is like the street smoke in Taipei's foggy season, slowly drifting away, revealing a clear blue sky data flow. Yuxuan took a deep breath, and the key of the void gradually dimmed in his hand, turning into a simple badge, symbolizing the end of this cross-server crisis. He looked around. Zhiming was shaking off the data fragments on the axe, Cindy put away the bowstring, and Bohan's projected figure stabilized. It was no longer the pale ghost, but as solid as an old friend. The barrage is still flooding the screen, but most of the messages now are congratulatory. Iron Triangle +1, Brother Bohan joins. Mr. Li is finished, the game is back. Yuxuan, a legend is born. Phew, I can finally take a breath. Yuxuan patted Zhiming on the shoulder and smiled as if he had won a night market prize. Brother, this reversal, without your supplies and predictions, I would have been reduced to data. The official alarm has sounded, and all players in the server have been liberated. Now we just wait for the investigation team on the other side of the reality to take action. He activated the interface, and a system message popped up, emergency case closed. Mr. Li is suspected of manipulating the game economy and data trafficking and has been handed over to actual law enforcement. The alliance between Audio-Technica and Bohan won the honor of cross-server legendary heroes, and all server PvP was restarted fairly. Reward distribution, virtual empire shares, real-life exposure rights, exclusive buff permanent. Zhiming laughed loudly and slammed the axe on the ground. All the cracks on the lightning armor were healed. He turned and blinked at Bohan. Brother Bohan, that shield opened the way just now, so cool. From an opponent to a teammate, this turn is more bloody than a Korean drama. You said, Mr. Li's face is green now. What's going on? The real office was raided, and I'm probably packing my luggage. He said while distributing the last supply chips. The team's buffs were stacked to the full value, and the evasion rate was permanently above 30%. The antivirus pulse was like an insurance, always on the back door of the system. Boss, now that we have obtained the shares, can our Audio-Technica open a studio? It will specialize in cracking this kind of conspiracy copy. Bohan's projection smiled slightly, and the thunder shield fragments rotated gently around him. He rubbed his eyebrows, with a rare sense of relief in his voice. Zhiming, thank you. I used to be too ambitious, thinking that I could dominate cross-servers by controlling the chip, but I failed in your hands. Yuxuan, this reversal of the void pulse is something I owe yours. From now on, Iron Square is not temporary. I will withdraw from Mr. Li's shadow camp and form an alliance wholeheartedly. In reality, I have inside information and can help push forward the investigation. Don't let this kind of shady story come back again. His eyes were firm, like a gangster reborn on the street, with his heart broken and only his persistence for the truth. Cindy nodded, raised her bow and arrow, and scanned the surrounding data stream to confirm that there was no residual virus. Bohan, welcome to join us officially. Your vulnerability information saved us in the second stage, and it is much easier to predict. Yuxuan, this honor is not for nothing. The announcement update will be coming soon, and the game will announce the details of Mr. Li's plan, and the alliance model for all players in the server. The style will become the norm, and PvP will no longer be fought alone. She turned to Yuxuan, with the warmth of a family member in her eyes, recalling the day you logged in. You were still analyzing the first announcement and guessing mysterious events. What about now? From a smart player to a leader, he led us to break the 3 cores and reverse the entire server. The growth is like the peak period of the MRT, accelerating all the way. Yuxuan listened and had a brief thought in his heart. Yes, from a rookie who loves reasoning to the coordinating team to crack the back door, this journey has been driven by their trust. He clenched his badge and said, Cindy is right. This is not my own legend, it belongs to the Iron Triangle, no, the Iron Four. Zhiming, your charge is always the first to hit. Cindy, your arrow prediction turns crises into opportunities. Bohan, your atonement blow proves that games can change people. We will follow the aftermath of reality together. I will use the right of exposure to contact the media and promote industrial reform. Let Era of Fantasy not only be virtual, but also be responsible to the players. The system light screen expanded, and the server-wide announcement sounded like thunder. Heroic moment, Yuxuan, Zhiming, Cini, and Bohan alliance to resolve the controller crisis. The game has been restored to fairness, cross-server duels are about to restart, and all players will receive temporary buff improvements. Thanks to Iron Sijiao, the virtual world is reborn. Player projections appeared around the arena, the heroes cheered in unison, and the barrage turned into fireworks special effects, making it as lively as a night market. The ruins of the fortress were automatically repaired and turned into a novel monument to heroes, engraved with their ID, the adventure of the Iron Triangle, from the announcement reasoning to the ultimate reversal. The projections of the three of them and Bohan gathered in front of the monument. Zhiming spoke first. Boss, do you remember the first dungeon? We picked up props and flashed boss skills, and the team was almost wiped out. You said at the time that the update announcement contained clues, and now it is proven that you were right. From collecting fragments to breaking economic modules, this is a growth path. He patted Yuxuan on the back, with enthusiasm like the hot soup at a late-night snack stall. Brother Bohan, after joining, our next goal is to explore the hidden server. Let's meet in real life and have a dinner to celebrate. Bohan nodded, and the projected figure gradually materialized. The system allowed the real connection of the hero's honor. Zhiming, deal. In reality, I am Bohan Li. I used to work for Mr. Li, and now I am a consultant. Yuxuan, your leader, let me see that games should not be a tool for money. To reform the industry, I will provide testimony and expose more shady stories. The Iron Four will never be separated. In his voice, remorse turned into unprecedented freedom, like a street prodigal who has taken off his shackles. Cini smiled, and a light arrow flicked out from the bowstring, lighting up the monument. Looking back, Yuxuan, you have changed the most from analyzing the trajectory of the boss to coordinating the reversal of players' will. In the past, I only focused on archery, but now I have learned to predict the overall situation thanks to your tacit understanding. Now, in the real world, game companies have to change the rules, privatize player data, and there is no longer a backdoor in cross-server battles. We have influenced everything, from virtual heroes to real promoters. She looked at the team, her eyes as sticky as a family gathering. Friendship is forever, we write this legend together. Yuxuan looked at them, with heat surging in his chest. Yes, I have loved the immersion of this game since the day I logged in, but the conspiracy made me alert. It is not just fun, but a responsibility. Zhiming, your support makes me dare to rush. Cini, your analysis gives me direction. Bohan, your joining proves that the enemy you can also become a partner. This growth, from wit to leader, is a gift from you. Now that Mr. Li has fallen and the game is fair, our shares can build a player alliance and supervise future updates. In reality, I will contact the officials to promote safety regulations for neural connections so that every player can take risks with peace of mind. The light curtain flashed, and the real-life scene cut in. Mr. Li was handcuffed and put into a police car. Behind him was the seal of the company building, and media reporters swarmed. Manipulating a virtual empire, suspected of data trafficking, the Iron Four heroes exposed the truth, the news anchor said excitedly. In the game, PvP was restarted in all servers, players poured into the arena, and a new announcement scrolled. The era of fairness is coming, thank you Yuxuan and other heroes. Hidden plot unlock, player-led cross-server league. Before the team's projection faded, Zhiming shouted, Boss, see you in Taipei after we log off. I'll treat you to braised pork rice for the night market celebration. Cini smiled. Bohan, remember to bring insider information. Bohan nodded. Iron Four corners, always rush. Yuxuan took one last look at the game world. The data flow in the blue sky was like a new life, and he felt calm inside. From a player who speculates on announcements to leading a team to reform the industry, this journey has been worthwhile. The system prompts softly, log out completed. Reality is connected, and the hero's path continues. In reality, Yuxuan took off the neural connector, and the screen in the room was still flashing game news. He rubbed his eyes, and Zhiming's voice message popped up, Boss, wake up. The news broke, and you became an internet celebrity hero. Cine and Bohan joined the group with real-life IDs, and the Reform Alliance started. From now on, the game gets better. Yuxuan smiled and replied, "Come on, Iron Xijiao, the real-life adventure begins." Outside the window, the lights of Taipei night market flickered, and friendship was like a never-ending buff, pushing him towards a broader future. The game is over, but the legend will remain in my heart forever.